You ever wonder what makes a great gamer? Great gaming is not only about cheering on our teammates, but also being there to pick us up when we're down.
Guardian down!
Have you ever played Destiny with a fellow Guardian and thought to yourself, I wonder what their life is like? Questions like these spark conversation, friendship, and community. We're a Destiny 2 podcast that focuses on three things: community, news around the gaming industry and Destiny 2, and thought-provoking topics in the game. We're Guardian Downcast. Your stories, your community, your destiny. What's up, Guardian? Welcome to episode 253 of Guardian Downcast, the Destiny podcast. I'm your host, Todd the Gator, and I'm a Day One Guardian who loves gaming and especially the Destiny franchise. In this episode, as we get ready for our live mega cast show next Friday night, I wanted to catch up with some gamers that are very close to me. She's been my digital artist and graphics team of one who designs all of my channel art, those thumbnails you see on my YouTube videos. She's also a super talented photographer who has a keen eye when photographing people's pets, doing weddings, you name it. She once took a picture of a singular clothespin on a clothesline. I don't know what she saw on it, but it was such a stunning picture it still hangs in my studio bathroom today. She was on a previous episode, episode 82, titled Dead Mall Videos. I don't know if I remember that one. You can search, by the way, on our website, guardiandowncast.com, if you want to go back and listen to that interview. It's my daughter, SnailEntrails, or Lauren. Hello.
Hey, everyone.
Our second guest tonight has never been on the show before, brand new guest. He's been together with my daughter for several years now and is an avid Destiny 2 Guardian who tackles all of that in-game content like master raids and dungeons and you name it. And since it's his very first time on the show, I'm going to interview him where he can share his Destiny journey with us today. It's Taka. Hey, man. How's it going?
Good. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. This has been in the works for a while. Well, in today's show, we're going to first hear about Taka's Destiny story and a little more about his life. We'll all then catch up with our week in gaming. I have a few movie reviews as well. Then I'll put them both through the fastest 2-minute question and answer segment we call, oh yeah, it's back, the speed run. Since Bungie has been in overdrive these last few weeks, I'll give a TLDR version of what has been shared by them in the little info nuggets. Next, we'll answer questions from our Discord community. Then Uncle Scumdeath stops by to share a week in his life across the pond. It's another jam-packed show, folks. So if you're all ready, let's roll. Hey, thanks for listening to Guardian Downcast. There are several ways you can contact us. First, you can find us on X at Guardian_D_cast. Or you can find us on our Instagram channel at Guardian Downcast and see what pics and reels that I and our podcast guests want to share with you guys. You can send us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/Guardian Downcast, email at guardiandowncast@gmail.com. But if you just want to do it all in one spot, check out our new website. Just visit guardiandowncast.com. You can find all our contact info, leave us a voicemail, give us our show rating and review, search for any past episodes, or even get back to our community. Also, don't forget to sign up for future updates to the show, where we'll also have random drawings throughout the year, and you may win a gift card or even some Guardian Downcast merch. Our community thrives on interaction, so get involved and check us out. And later, Guardian. Well, Taka and Lauren, thanks again for coming on the show tonight. I just wanted to have just a chill show where I can just chill with family and just have we're all getting excited for Final Shape. Well, at least two of us are here. And, we have our live show next week. And I figured, it'd be a great show just to sit back, talk about Destiny and what's been going on in our lives. So I'm going to start with you, Taka, if you don't mind. I want to just get some of our usual questions that I ask a lot of my guests. First of all, obviously you live in the Orlando area, but what do you do for a living?
Well, I'm a support representative over at a tech company. I used to do project management, but I'm just switching around a lot. I do think I'll continue doing project management in the future, but left an old job that wasn't very great, so I decided to move into customer support at a different job that paid me about the same.
A lot less stress, hopefully.
Yep,
Nice.
100%.
Yeah, organization's everything, man. If your management's not organized and everything's frenzied all the time, it really affects everyone in the company, it seems. Well, let me ask you this. What was your earliest video game moment? When did you first get into video games, man?
I think I got into video games when I was as old as I could be when I could hold controllers. I think when I was in Spain in 2001 or 2002 or something like that, I was playing video games. So just at 3 years old, on the PlayStation 1.
Ooh.
I've been playing games as old as as early as I can.
So you're a PlayStation kid.
Yeah.
Did you ever get an Xbox, or I know you're on PC too now, but did you ever get an Xbox?
Never owned an Xbox ever.
And you said you were in Spain. Where have you lived in the past? That was pretty interesting when you told me that.
Well, I was born in Cuba, and then pretty soon after I was born, we moved over to Spain in Gijón, Spain.
Okay.
And then pretty soon after that, after maybe 2 or 3 years, we moved over to Florida. And I moved around multiple cities in Florida. We came to Orlando first, then lived in West Palm, and then back to Orlando, where we've kind of just remained.
How old were you when you moved to Florida?
I think maybe it was in 2001, so it was around maybe 4 or 5.
Oh, wow. Well, so you played PlayStation 1 was your first game. How did you find Destiny, man? How'd you find this Destiny game that we all seem to be playing all the time?
So I originally played Destiny when the first beta came out.
Really? You're a beta player? I never knew that.
Well, I played it and then I never played it again after that, up until obviously more recent. But I did play it when the beta came out, and I just didn't pursue it. I was younger. I didn't have money. We didn't have money to buy many games, so I had to kind of pick and choose which games I wanted to invest my money in. And then I played Destiny 2 after Destiny 2 came out, and it was free on BattleNet one time. That's before the split with Activision. That's the first time I played Destiny 2. So I did play the start of the
year one,
the original campaign. Yeah, but then I stopped playing it again because I wasn't having a great time, and I know that wasn't a great time for Destiny either. And then I officially picked it up, officially, when I started dating Lauren, and she told me her dad played Destiny. So I was like, well, I gotta try it out now.
Yeah, he's kind of got a podcast about it too. So yeah,
right.
What was it that made you disengage from the game in the past? Was there something you didn't like about it?
I think it just wasn't as accessible. It wasn't as clear what you needed to do, what there was to do. Yeah. And that's still not the case now. Yeah, I think I just was a little bit more resilient.
The new player experience is a disaster. They've even given up to the point where you can just skip it now. You can just skip the New Light story.
Yeah, I just kind of decided to stick through it, even though I probably shouldn't have. It definitely needed some work, but I stuck through it. I enjoyed it after. But that's really why I didn't stick through it for the first time. It just wasn't a good experience for a new player.
Yeah, I get that. I get that a lot. I've even done the new player experience, and it is brutal. And I'm a veteran player, and it was still objectively just not real easy to follow. So, yeah, I hope Bungie improves that down the road. We'll just have to see, I guess. What is it about gaming that you enjoy so much? I mean, it's kind of my hobby. I mean, for me, it's an escape, or it's just a hobby. It's something I like doing every week or every night when I get a chance. But what about you? What is it about gaming? I'll open this up to you too, Lauren. What is it about gaming you guys enjoy?
I think it's just, like you said, it's a hobby. I've been doing it as early as I can remember, so it's kind of just ingrained in me. I do it to blow off steam. I do it to just chill, have fun with my friends, especially those that no longer live close to me. the one way that we can still connect. And it's just, stress relief.
I hear you. What about you, Lauren? I know you play, you're a Sims player, right? Sims and Stardew Valley, is that what you play mainly?
Yeah, I agree with Alessandro. It's a way to connect with your friends, but also it's a way to be in control of your life and being able to do tasks in games in an organized way can help you feel like you have more control over things. And sometimes that productivity carries over into real life.
Dopamine hit. That's what
yeah.
That's in other words. Yeah, I get it. It feels good when you accomplish things. I think that's why bounties are so cool. That's why I like doing bounties so much. Speaking of which, do you Taka, do you do bounties?
When I play, yeah.
Okay. Well, good answer.
But
that's the correct answer.
I just pick them up, and then I kind of just forget about them until I complete whichever ones, and then.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about that tonight. They're changing the way bounties are done, at least some of them. So I'm going to get into that later on. It's interesting how they're changing things in that regard. But is there since you've been on and off playing Destiny, is there a favorite moment from the past, whether it's in a raid or doing anything in the game? Is there anything you recall back to that just was a really great memory of the game?
I think my first day one experience, which was in Witch Queen for the Witch Queen raid.
Oh yeah.
That was, I think, the most fun I had in the game. It was a great challenge. It was fun to figure out the puzzles in real time without having any guides, or it was fun to figure that out. And then, with no help, no guides, we would just try to get through it, trying to figure it out, spending 3-4 hours on that first encounter in the big room, trying to figure out what all the symbols are, naming them and all that stuff. That was a great memory.
Yeah,
and I think that's the best part of this game, is the end game activities. While some of them might feel redundant, I do think the day one experience is fantastic.
Yeah. And it's funny, only 10% of the population does raids, has even done one raid. That's what's sad. I wish somehow Bungie could make it where raiding was more mainstream in the game, but so many people play this game and never get to experience that. That's whenever I see a virgin raider that wants to try their first raid, like we did last week with one of our new members of our Discord community, I jumped at the chance to jump in there and help. And I'll talk about that and what we've been doing this week, but yeah. So full disclosure, you have like a full raid buddies. You have a full team of buddies you do your raids with and your in-game stuff with?
Depends on the day. We can barely get all online at the same time. So it's usually 4. And then we'll find either people we know that are not like, friends, it's just people that we know, that we've connected with, and we're just like, oh, well, we'll keep them in our like contacts, I guess, and I'll just reach out to them sometimes when we need another, or then eventually I'll just have to LFG.
Have you tried the new Fireteam Finder yet?
Yeah, but we usually just kind of find people who are trying to do endgame activities but don't know what they're doing, and also refuse to join in like a Discord. Okay. And I'm fine with playing with people who don't know what they're doing, but it's also a lot of times people who don't know what they're doing, but also don't own up to messing up, and they'll blame everyone else. That's our experience so far.
Okay.
And again, don't mind playing with newbies or anything like that. But
so you have
it's been interesting people.
So you have a teaching mentality in your group. You like to bring on a new player and teach them how to do it.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Most of the time.
That's pretty cool. A lot of people like to do that. I mean, a lot of people are like emblem or kick. You hear that a lot. I want to see the emblem or you get kicked. That you've done this raid. Yeah. But what were you saying, Lauren?
Yeah, he has that Sherpa mentality.
It's good. No, that's very good. It takes a lot of patience to be a Sherpa. I'm just not good at. I'm a very visual person. It's hard for me to put visual concepts into words sometimes. And I have other people in the Discord in the community that are much better at it than me. So I tend to just say, hey, I know what I need to do. Just tell me what job you want me to do in this raid and I'll just get it done. I'll make sure I get it done. The problem usually is my head's on a swivel. I'm so worried about the new people knowing what they're doing and trying to keep up and see if they're doing what they need to do. And it usually gets me in trouble where I'm distracted and I mess up. So it happens. It happens.
Yeah. That tends to happen as well sometimes. I'm very much focused on explaining every detail, and a lot of my friends are oh, they'll figure it out. But the way I learn is the way I learn and I teach is I explain every possible scenario. That way, when they get into that specific scenario, they know how to respond to it. And a lot of my friends don't really act that way. They kind of just say, they kind of explain it in vague terms, and they say they'll figure it out. It's not a great experience. So I do tend to worry about the newer people there and making sure they also have a fun time. That's also my concern, because I tend to play for others over myself. I might have a worse experience, but I do actually focus on my friends having a better experience than me sometimes. So,
Taka, let me ask you this. What character do you like the most in the Destiny verse, and why?
Oh, like character as in like...
Yeah, NPC.
That's I guess a difficult question. I don't really think about that.
Really?
I would probably say, honestly, Finch.
Really? Finch?
Witchqueen. Yeah,
really?
I don't know.
Okay.
I thought it was funny.
Now, what do you main? Are you Hunter, Warlock, Titan?
Obviously a Warlock.
Okay.
The best class out there.
That's why I kind of knew we got along. All right, good. I just had to get it out of the way just for documentation purposes. Why a Warlock? What is it? What are the favorite things about Warlock that you like?
I like the support abilities that they have mainly, though. Unfortunately, we got kind of bogged down into always being a support.
Yes. In other words, Well of Radiance.
Right. But that is why I liked it the most, because I like having the ability to do a lot of damage, but also have a way to support the team. But then it kind of got a little frustrating when I only had to do one thing.
Well, they're changing that.
Yep.
Well is getting a change. So yeah, I'll talk about that a little later too. What is one weapon in your vault? Wait a minute. First of all, what's your vault number?
I think it's full.
All right. Very good. That's the right answer. And what one weapon in your vault will you refuse to delete, and why?
If I'm going to be honest, I would be fine with deleting everything.
What? No, it's not the right answer. No.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's the.
You don't have. Do you have a sunset weapon that you never threw away?
Well, I didn't play when sunsetting was a thing,
okay.
So I joined in.
That's right.
Beyond Light. I guess the only weapon I wouldn't delete is Macabre.
Okay, I like that sniper rifle. It's a very good
Macabre in one.
You mean the Macabre?
Yeah, Macabre.
It's Macabre.
It's Macabre.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It's that Spanish coming
whatever.
out. It's a Spanish coming out. You know what? You know what? That'll be the title. The title of the show will be Macabre.
Whatever.
I'm just giving you.
I just like the way the noise it makes.
Yeah, I love it. It's a very stable sniper rifle. I have several of them in my vault with several different roles. So, but I might have a problem. If Bungie assigned you a small but versatile dev team that you yourself could do anything you want for the future of Destiny, what would it be?
Quality of life and new player experience.
Good answer. Yep, I like that too. Before we go on in the interview here, I'm just curious, what have you guys been doing this week? I know Taka, you play all kinds of games, but have you been doing anything in Destiny? You getting ready for Final Shape? Are you going to do any bounty prepping? What have you been up to, man?
No bounty prepping.
Oh my god.
Just playing Pantheon.
How you liking that?
I like it a lot. I'm just frustrated that it is a limited time event. Sure, the title could be limited time. I don't care about that. I think that's cool to have limited time. But the event itself should stay to get more people into raiding. But Bungie likes to get rid of good things sometimes. So, I'm not bounty prepping because I took basically a 6-month break from Destiny. So I'm level 18 on this current season. And, I have about a lot of catching up to do before final shape starts, so I can make the most out of my pass this season.
Have you played all 4 levels of Pantheon?
What do you mean?
I mean, it's -20 this last week.
Oh no, I just did week 1 yesterday.
Yeah, that's all I've done.
And we're gonna try doing the rest of the weeks before next week.
It's progressively gets harder and harder, and as much as I'd like to have the Godslayer title, I just don't have time to commit to it right now. I've got so many things, and my business is just heating up right now, and it's just really tough to. And in front of I'm kind of purposely regulating my Destiny playing right now because I don't want to get burnt out going into Final Shape. I want to have fresh eyes going into it, and I'm doing a ton of bounty prep right now on 3 accounts. I know I have an account in every one of our Guardian Downcast clans, and I'm working on my Guardian Downcast 2 character. Just got his 100 levels. Just got all the season pass unlocked on that one just this week, in fact. So now I'm prepping bounties for that. My Guardian Downcast 1 Todd the Gator account is almost fully bounty prepped. I have to just pick up a few more of those, and just trying to get some more enhancement cores before we move into Final Shape, because I have a feeling we're going to need those. And use your legendary shards. Use them up, kids. Make sure you turn those in.
Glimmer.
Either get Glimmer or buy weapons and farm the enhancement cores that way by dismantling them. Whatever you got to do, you got basically a week and a half to get it done. So
watch Gator's video on how to farm glitter.
Glitter? You mean Glimmer?
Glimmer.
I actually once Final Shape launches, and I can verify this, I have a brand new bonus Glimmer farming method that I've run across that has extra benefits. So hopefully, if Bungie doesn't change anything going into Final Shape, then I'm gonna have another video out about that as well, because I have a feeling Glimmer is going to be the thing to use since legendary shards are going away.
Glimmer's the new currency.
Well, it's the currency in Destiny, but it's going to be more important, I think, going into the next expansion. What about you, Lauren? What have you been doing this week? Have you been gaming any? I know I've seen you playing Stardew Valley.
So, yesterday I went to a concert downtown with my friends. We saw Slater. He's in Vada Vada, and he's a friend of the garden. It was really fun. That's what I did yesterday. And then I'm working on planning out my birthday party. It's going to be a whole game show made from scratch with 3 rounds, an obstacle course, and it's roughly based off of Total Drama Island. There's going to be a confession booth, and it's going to be shot like a reality TV show, so I'm working on pulling that together. But, one more thing. It was our dog's birthday yesterday, Ginger. She turned 7 or 8, and she got a beautiful meal with, it was ground beef, chicken, pumpkin puree, sweet potato, boiled, green beans, salmon oil, quail egg, and a few other accoutrements. So she had a great day.
You want to tell everybody what kind of dog you have?
She's an Australian cattle dog mix, and she has one eye. She is the sweetest dog in the world. Sweetest dog you'll ever meet.
You rescued her, right?
Yeah, we think she used to be like a bait dog or
for dog fighting? Something
like that. Yeah, because when we got her, she had a ton of damage on her face, and she has like a scar across her head. Like, she got attacked at one point, and she's not really good around other dogs, so we think that's because she's scared of them.
I got you. She's a sweet dog. She even runs up to me, and I hardly see her. So, yeah. Good deal. All right. Well, one thing I did want to mention is I have 3 movie reviews for this week. Shh. Movie review. The first one, I did see Unfrosted on Netflix. I usually game until around, I don't know, midnight, doing bounty prep or whatever, and then I try to watch a movie or my TV shows that I usually watch, and I decided, you know what? Let's go ahead and watch Unfrosted. I keep hearing so much about this Jerry Seinfeld creation, and it's really funny and stuff. Actually, Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 44% from critics, 51% from audience. And it's about it's a time warp movie about 1960s community. And it's at least how Jerry Seinfeld imagined the story of how the Pop-Tart was invented. And then insert the comedy, right? Well, not really, unfortunately. It was enough to keep me interested to keep watching it on a late night, but average at best. I gave it 2.5 stars. Just not that great a movie. I did see this weekend, I saw with Grandma and Grandpa, in fact, Lauren, I saw Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. It actually got very good marks from Rotten Tomatoes, 80% from critics, 79% from audience. I wanted it to be more than just another Planet of the Apes movie that I've already seen several of the past movies. Sadly, it really didn't move the needle for me. It seems like the audience disagrees with me on this one, but I really wanted it to be more than just the usual Planet of the Apes movie. And although it did have one part of it that talked about the humans a little bit more than the past movies, it kind of left me a little flat. So I would have to give that one 3 stars, average at best. And then last night I saw an early viewing of George Miller's Furiosa, part of the Mad Max saga. It got certified fresh from Rotten Tomatoes of 89% from critics and 92% from audience. I really like George Miller's Mad Max movies, and I thought that the last one with Charlize Theron, I think it was called Fury Road. I think it was 2015, when it came out last. So it's been a while since we've seen a Mad Max movie. The visual storytelling that George Miller has in his movies are just next level. But this one actually was an origin story of Furiosa, how she came to be what Charlize Theron portrayed in the last film. But wow, I was really blown away. George Miller grabs the audience by the throat within minute 1, and he never lets go. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. And even though it was a 2.5-hour movie, it never felt that it was too long. Wasn't looking at my watch, seeing how much time's left or any of that. It's funny how good movies do that, you know? I agree with the audience on this one. Anya Taylor-Joy and Chris Hemsworth were fantastic. I couldn't keep my eyes off of them. The character development was fantastic. I felt like I knew each of their quirks and their personality by the end of the movie. Everything just really done well. I actually heard an interview from George Miller that his mission in his movies, his Mad Max movies, is that the vehicles were also major characters in his movies, and it shows. The authentic, true to the original films, the looks of all these vehicles. If you've watched the Mad Max series of films that George Miller has put out, you know immediately what vehicle is in chase or in a convoy or whatever. And just the detail to these vehicles. They actually even show how they made one of the tanker trucks that Charlize Theron drives in the earlier movie. It shows how they actually built it and everything they had in mind when they put it all together. And it was just fascinating to watch.
You ever seen that music video from Bjork? York. Yes. You know the music video Army of Me?
No.
Have you seen that car? That's
No.
very Mad Max-esque.
Really? No, I haven't seen that video. Nuh-uh.
You should look at it.
Okay. I'll check it out. Send me a link in the Discord.
Okay.
Outstanding movie, guys. It's one of my top 5 movies so far this year. Dune 2, Champions, and Monkey Man are all among them. They were all very surprisingly good movies this year so far. This is one movie you really want to see on the big screen. And if you can see it on an IMAX theater or a Dolby theater, it's a bonus. I saw it on IMAX. Fantastic sound. The screen is enormous. You feel like you're in the movie. 4.5 stars. Fantastic movie. Don't miss this one. I know it just got released on this weekend, Memorial Day weekend. And, man, if you have the opportunity to go to a movie and see this, it's not for kids. It's not for kids. Sorry, parents. You're going to have to get a babysitter. It's very bloody. It's very gruesome. It's very hardcore, but, for date night, fantastic movie. Don't miss this one. Really got some great movies coming up very soon. This summer is just loaded with really good movies. Deadpool and Wolverine's coming up in July. Still waiting for Daddy-O. I think that's a Sean Penn, Dakota Johnson. This may be a sleeper movie this year, and hopefully it's going to be at our theater. I'm hoping they release at our theater. I did see the trailer online, so there's no guarantees that it'll be. It might be maybe a New York, LA, movie situation. I hope it isn't. I'll keep you posted on that one. The Joker Part 2, October. Beetlejuice 2024 is in September. Hitman is coming out later this month on the theater, and June 7th on Netflix. That's going to be a good one. A Quiet Place, Day 1 in June. That's going to be good.
Field.
What's that?
Garfield.
No.
If.
No.
With Ryan Reynolds.
No. Animated movies. Sorry.
Inside Out 2.
No. I'm good. You can go see them. Tell me how they are.
Do you like Ryan Reynolds?
I like Ryan Reynolds, and I like it. I like If. I like Imaginary Friend. I like the premise of it, and it was written by
John Krasinski.
John Krasinski.
Yeah, he wrote it. I mean, I love the fact that he wrote it for. He actually said in an interview that he wrote it for his kids. So I get that, but yeah, I'll maybe watch it when it comes to HBO Max or something. But I'm not going to the theater to see that. Twisters, the remake, is coming in June. Alien Romulus in August, and Borderlands again in August. Acolyte is coming in June 4th, coming to Disney. The Penguin with Colin Farrell this fall on Max, and House of Dragons June 16th on HBO Max. I will be tuning into those.
And The Bear.
Oh, when is season 3 coming out? Do you have the date?
June.
Yeah, I'll be
End
there.
of June.
That's on Hulu. I'll be watching that one.
And The Boys.
Oh, that's right. Was it the 4th season, right? Of The Boys?
I think so.
Yeah, I'll be watching that one too. Yep. I just write down what's come to mind here off the top of my head. All right. Well, let's get back to the interview. I'll ask this of both of you guys. Do you have other hobbies outside of gaming?
I bake bread. That's what I do now.
I'm just waiting for you to make a full 100% whole wheat bread.
It takes a lot of wheat in it, and it doesn't always turn out great, but I'll try it sometimes.
I love whole wheat bread. It's one of my luxuries in life is whole wheat bread and peanut butter at night before I go to bed. That's my nightly snack. So, what else? What else you do?
Outside of that, nothing really hobby wise. That's kind of what I do. I just play video games and.
Well, do you have other games you play?
A lot. But
what other games are you playing right now?
Well, I mean, I've been playing League of Legends for the last 12 years, so that's just kind of. I think it's cursed upon me to always be playing that game, and then among that, just whatever I'm feeling. I play any game, any variety, any style. I'm very much an everything man when it comes to games. I have no genres that I hate. I have no dislikes for any game. I will play every game because I love video games. So
you're a lot like Cam. You play a lot of different things. I mean, have you played the new Hades?
Of course, I love Hades.
Good. You like the second one? Real good.
Second one is also amazing. Both are fantastic.
I gotta play more roguelikes.
That's my favorite genre.
I tell myself I need to expand myself and play other games, but Destiny's got its hooks in me. There's always something I'm needing to do in Destiny, and now that Final Shape's on its way, I just don't see me playing anything else right now. Maybe the 24-hour break we have before Final Shape drops. That'll be the one night I can play something else. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, if you're trying to get into roguelites, I think Hades is a fantastic one to break into it. It's my favorite genre. It's the genre that is the most replayable, in my opinion. Okay. And it's just, they're always, for the most part, bangers. There's rarely ever like really bad roguelites. There obviously are, there has to be, but they're always fantastic.
All right. What about you, Lauren? What other hobbies you got other than gaming? We kind of went over these in the
Well-
last show, but you can repeat them here if you want.
Okay. Some of my hobbies are drawing, painting, photography, and gardening, which you taught me a lot about, and that's
Yeah.
what I enjoy doing.
I'm hoping that rubs off, that skill.
Yep, it did. And every day I go outside, I water my plants. I have all my orchids right now. I water those whenever they need to be watered, and that's really my life.
Taka. Dude, what's behind the gamer tag?
It's my middle name.
Taka. Okay.
And it's just the word "the" in Spanish right before it, so it's just the Taka. That's pretty much.
What
That's
does Taka
all there
mean
is
in
to it.
Spanish?
Well, it's not Spanish; it's Japanese.
Oh,
So I'm pretty sure it means falcon. It's
nice.
just Japanese word for falcon.
I like it. Cool deal. SnailEntrails. What is up with that name, Lauren? SnailEntrails.
I think you already asked me this.
I know. I'm
before.
asking again because I'm still confounded. SnailEntrails.
When I was in college, we had to come up with a name for a project, and it was either Ruby Rocker from when I was a kid,
Yeah.
or I had to make something up, and snails are very trendy in the art scene. So I thought, okay, what can I rhyme it with? And you also want it to be a little bit edgy. So that's where it came from. You gotta rhyme the words together, snail and trails. And it can mean a snail's walking on a trail or something, or it can mean on trails of a snail.
Okay. That went way over my
Yeah.
head, but okay. Taka, what is the one thing about you that our community may not know about you? It could be big or small. It could be anything, really.
I don't know. There's not much else to me. Other
Well, we
than
know you make
video
bread,
games.
but
Yeah.
anything from your past, anything in your life.
He was an ROTC.
That was one thing.
Okay.
When I was born, I was pronounced dead for about like 8 minutes.
Really?
That was something that happened.
You were premature?
No.
No.
It was just a bad day.
Damn, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So me and both my mom were pronounced dead for about 8 minutes.
What?
So, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I never heard that story. Wow.
Not much to tell. We're here. I survived.
Yeah. I mean,
So did my mom.
This was in Cuba, right? So
Yeah.
was there anything surrounding it that caused that to happen, or was it just a stressful time?
I think there was an injection that was given to my mom. I think they actually also injected me with it accidentally.
Oh,
so
man.
I was like not breathing. And so I was like purple when I
Dude.
came out. And my mom, they like botched the surgery as well. So it was kind of
my
like,
God.
we both made it. We're
Oh,
good.
Well, that's the good news. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I like your mom. She's funny sometimes. She's a little shy around me, probably because she just doesn't know me very well. But
Yeah.
yeah. And I really like your stepdad. I like that he's very knowledgeable about doing things and fixing stuff. In fact, he helped fix all your electrical in your house, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I like him. He's a nice guy. Lauren, what's one thing about you that maybe our community may not know about you that they haven't shared already? Giving you tons of time to think about it.
No, I didn't know this was a question.
I just asked Taka.
Oh, I was listening to what he said.
Oh my gosh.
Can you think of something?
No. I mean, I don't know what they don't know.
What?
I don't know what they don't know.
We're talking about the community, the Discord community,
Yeah.
and the people who listen to this podcast. What they may not know about you that, there's a lot of things I know about you, obviously, but
Okay.
is there something that our community may not know about you?
All right.
It's like a fun fact.
All right. Well, this is a fun fact. I almost ended up doing high school band, but I really didn't want to, even though everyone wanted me to follow in their footsteps. And luckily, I fainted, and I used that as my excuse to get out of band camp, which in my opinion, was a waste of a week in the summer, so I was blessed that I fainted, and then I got out of it, and I was so relieved.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
That's my fun fact.
I remember that. Yeah,
that was the best day of my life.
You think football practice in the summer's tough? You ought to be out on hot pavement in the middle of the summer trying to march in sync with hundreds of people around you. It's not easy.
Trust me, I knew that because I was like, why do you guys like band? You're crazy. Everyone's talking about how great it is and how fun it is.
You got what you probably don't remember because it was before your time is I played football too, and I was in band. I loved concert band. I loved reading music. I loved playing music, but I hated marching band. And it was awesome because either I was playing baseball or football, and I was exempt. And the band teacher hated me for it. I remember he always held that against me, the fact that I didn't do marching band, but I loved it. And there was a few years I did marching band, obviously, but there was a couple of years there where I didn't want to let go of my sports. I wanted to keep playing. So
yeah, I wasn't around for that.
I know. Another signature question we have: is there a motto or mantra that you live by? I'll ask this to both of you guys.
Mine would be everything happens for a reason.
It's a good one. What about you, Taka?
Don't be a shitty person, I think. That's just my default.
Yeah, it's funny. Your mom and I were just talking about this tonight in the car. I don't have the patience for stupid people anymore. And I want to understand why you are sitting there in your car and not moving. And maybe you're looking at your phone. Maybe, I don't know. I just don't have time to learn about your deal. Why you can't drive a vehicle correctly. And my wife's like, you're such an old fart. And I'm like, what? I believe in the golden rule, treat people how you would want to be treated. But some people really just push me to the limits. I swear to God. Maybe I'll edit that part out too. But anyway, we had that conversation.
All I'm saying, look, you got to look at it from someone else's perspective, because what if they feel that way about you and you actually have a reason for acting the way you are?
I don't know. I guess as I've gotten older, I just get more impatient with people. Whereas, when you're younger, you come along to go along, you want to fit in, and you get to a certain age, you're like, you know what? Hell with that. You're just an idiot. I'm going to just drive around you. Okay. Moving on. I'm going to leave
Next.
Leaving you in my rearview mirror. I don't have time to deal with you. I'm only dealing with what I'm dealing with in the front of me right now. So anyway, we have some questions from our Discord. I want to make sure we get those asked tonight. Let's see. We have one from I Just Kill Things Nico. This is Nico, aka Jersey, one of our patrons. This is for Snails. What's the best piece of advice Todd, aka Dad, has given you? And there's a second question too. I'll ask you after that. Is there anything?
I have multiple answers to this. The first one would be ham it up.
I remember saying, okay, full context here. You and your longtime girlfriend, Sterling, I think I went to you guys and what was the context? You remember again when I said ham it up?
Yeah. So we were at the math beat and Sterling was a judge with you and someone else. And first you were telling her all about how the mic works. And then you told her, you just said, hey, don't be afraid to ham it up. Go on up there, ham it up when you respond to someone. And then these poor kids went up there and did their math questions and answered them. And you would just sit there and pause and be like, I'm sorry. That's not the right answer. And you broke that kid's heart.
It was tough.
Because you're hamming it up.
Well, ham it up means, to me, what that meant for me was just be friendly. Be friendly. And, these poor kids are nervous as hell. And I was just like, ham it up, enjoy yourself. I guess that's what I was trying to tell Sterling. Don't take it so seriously. Just ham it up, enjoy the process, enjoy what's going on around you. No day is given to you. So, ham it up.
Good merch for you.
All right. What was your second one?
It's not so much something that you have said, but it's more so something you've done. And that is, if you find something you really enjoy, you can niche down and make a community out of it And if you put a lot of effort into something, and if you really want something, you'll take the time to learn how it works and how to do it and how to build off of that. And it's been really inspiring to see you make a community from a really small thing and blow it up like this. And then you spent hours studying your craft and looking up like the best ways to produce a podcast, to edit your videos. You're always learning. And even though you've never said that, it's just a good example to follow.
Okay. Always be learning. Life,
Yeah.
That's one great thing about life is you're always learning. And I'm always a sponge, especially if it's something I'm passionate about. So, secondly, if you could give Gator, aka Dad, one piece of advice, what would it be?
On the same note as you can niche down, don't be afraid to expand to other things, because you can be someone with more than one passion or hobby, and you can dedicate your time to other things. Not saying you have to not do Destiny, but sometimes I wish you would do your terrariums again, or like have like two hobbies to balance it out, because it's kind of like how Grandpa said, if you just do one thing for so long, you may get burnt out on it. So it's good to have like extra things to do to switch it up every once in a while.
Yeah, he told me to reinvent myself because I was getting burnt out on my job and my company. I've been doing it for so long. And dealing with employees and customers, and it tends to grind on you, not to mention everything you got to do to run a business. Yeah, it's good advice. I believe me, the passion's there. I just got a brand new book on terrariums. Actually, 3 new books on terrariums, and I'm kind of getting passionate about it. I'm thinking about starting a few more up. I'm going to do one with, actually, since I like insects and stuff, I'm actually going to create a biosphere where I'm going to include some amphipods and some stuff that'll actually balance out, the things that can happen to plants that sit in a terrarium for long periods of time. And my goal is
talking about springtails?
Springtails and amphipods and all kinds of things that like to eat fungus and organisms that aren't very friendly to plants. There's an art form to it. There really is. So I want to see how long. I have a terrarium that I've had for, I think, 3 years now. Still growing in a small little terrarium candy jar. And I want to try that again, but this time I want to have things in place that will make the plant thrive and not just survive. So
you should.
Yeah, I will one of these days. I've got so much on my plate. I've got 2 wacky videos I want to make. I've got a Crucible series of videos I want to make. It's like a 4-part Crucible video series. I've been thinking about it a lot lately, and it's definitely getting closer to production. I'm always thinking of something I want to do, and I'm always wanting to improve in the show that we're listening to right now. So yeah, it's always on my mind. Trust me. It's always a passion of mine. And when I'm not passionate about it anymore, I'll quit doing it. So
yeah.
Question, all 3 of you can answer this one separately. What is your favorite memory together?
So does this mean memory with all of us? All 3 of us?
Well, I mean, I remember, I'll share one of mine was the fact, you and Mom bought myself, Cameron, and Taka here, t-shirts that said, "I paused my game to be here." And I loved that. It was so inventive, and I was tickled by that. And we all got a pic on the back deck where we were all lined up, shoulder to shoulder with that, pointing to the t-shirt sign. I thought that was pretty cool. If you're talking about all of us together, that was a good memory.
Yeah. Well, going off of that, one of my favorite memories in general is just when we have a game night together and we play Jackbox games and we just come up with the funniest stuff ever when you do your prompts. And then it's just a nice inside joke to have with the family.
Yeah. Yeah. I love making the funny names too. Funny characters every game.
Me too.
What about you, Taka?
I would say the first time you guys had me over for Christmas, when I first started dating Lauren, you guys were super inviting, and I was very happy to join you guys, even though you guys didn't know me very well at that point. You guys were still very inviting and had me over, and even got me a few things.
Of course, man. Yeah.
When you're here, you're family.
Somebody said that. I can't remember.
Olive Garden.
No, I knew that. I was just being facetious. FazeLink has a few questions for us. What Destiny knowledge have you picked up from your dad? Well, since you don't play Destiny, if you listen to episode 82, she's not a Destiny girl. It didn't rub off. I'm sorry, everyone, to disappoint, but she is not a Destiny guardian. But now, in fact, another question was, did you guys ever raid together, and who rage quits after a few wipes? Being family, you're more likely to explode a bit quicker. We've not raided together. Taka, I don't think we have we?
Nope, not once.
You have your crew that you run with, and whenever I'm on to do a raid, I usually have a bunch of community members that join in to help me out. So never had the opportunity. We probably need to have a raid soon. Probably need to do a raid.
Hey, I'll say I do know some stuff about Destiny. I know that there's Glimmer and anything you've had me make a thumbnail for.
Okay.
I know that word now.
Then
I know
you're getting a full Destiny speedrun then tonight. We'll see what your answers are. We'll see how much you know.
Okay.
We'll see how much
All I know is that after the Witch Queen trials, everything changed. The landscape of Destiny 2 was just way different from that point on. It was history.
You should get into Destiny lore because you're very right brain. You're very artsy and stuff. You would love Destiny lore. You would be a great lore master in this game.
I actually do know a lot of lore because every time I go to bed, Alessandra will put YouTube on and somehow it will always, this 4-hour video about Destiny will play in the background. So
That's
hear it all
Bife.
the time.
Is that Bife?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. It's either Bife or Mylan, probably.
I don't even watch Destiny videos before I go to bed. I just put on like random videos, and then it somehow
it's always that same video.
It just somehow ends up on like a Destiny video, and then I guess like I think she just hears it sometime. I don't think it's played in a while though. So
it's always like after Witch Queen trials, everything changed.
Okay. FazeLink House had another question. If you could if you could change your dad's gamer tag for a month, what would it be? Well, right now it's Todd the Gator.
Florida 39.
That's one of my old gamer tags. Florida 39. That's a
I have a good story about that.
Okay.
When I was in middle school, I logged into your account because I wanted to impress this guy I liked. So I played Call of Duty Black Ops, and I played maybe 2 games, and I kept dying because I didn't know what I was doing. Someone sent me hate mail and said something like, you're from Florida and you're stupid or something like that, like just basing it off your gamer tag.
All
because I died.
Welcome to Call of Duty.
Yep.
Yeah. That sounds about right. That would not surprise me at all.
Yeah, after that I stopped playing. Just like League of Legends, most toxic game on the market.
That's just gamers. We're all very competitive and we get caught up. We get caught up in our games, especially when it's player versus player, and emotions can run high. That's for sure. I mean, I'm not innocent to that. I've done it too.
Hey, I'm not innocent either. If I play Don't Starve with Alessandro, I get pissed when he dies.
I'm innocent and all that. I'm not toxic.
I don't know what she's talking about, right? Yeah, I played the 5th. Yeah.
No, she's definitely toxic. Definitely. Me, no, I'm very patient.
Okay.
With everyone. I don't get toxic. Unlike Lauren.
That question was from Kazias Mate 91. Thank you for your question. Zombie Pops has a question here. He's one of our patrons. Question for the show: any video games you all play together, and if so, how hard is it to pry Gator away from Destiny?
Well, Zombie Pops, the last time I played a game with my dad, like for real, was Rock Band 2 or Rock Band 3. That was something we played for hours because we wanted to be in a magazine and we wanted to complete this challenge of like playing for 24 hours, and well, we stuck to it. We didn't finish the challenge, but we almost did. That's the last game we played seriously together.
We used to play Wii bowling and tennis and played a lot of stuff when we were younger. As you get older, you didn't really want to play games with your dad anymore. It wasn't cool.
Well, I didn't really want to play Destiny. Sorry, everyone. Just bleep that out.
That's staying in. We play, like I said, we have game nights. We have game nights where Cam and Saron, his wife, and me and Mom, and you and Taka will all play, play the Jackbox games. I love Jackbox games. They're fun. Anything that I don't have to draw, though. I like games that are like bluffing or trying to convince someone that that's the real answer or stuff like that. I like games like that.
My favorite is when you are really confident about a game and then you don't get it. But then a game where you think you're going to do terribly, you end up winning and you're like, I like this game now.
Yeah. And as a voting system and stuff, it's pretty cool. I like it. Vero has a question. If there was only one video game you could play for the rest of your lives that isn't Destiny, what would it be? We'll start with you, Taka.
It would have to be a game that I could play infinitely. Because obviously there are some games I have favorite games like God of War Ragnarok, which is my favorite like story game, but I couldn't play that for the rest of my life just because, it's just going to be the same thing over and over again. And as much as I love that game, I couldn't do that. It would unfortunately have to be League of Legends. I've been playing that for 12 years. It is always something different each time, as much as it's a frustrating game. But it would have to be that because I could play with my friends. I can, it's technically infinite, right? Because you could just play as many games as you can handle. And, there's always something being added to it, right? So it would have to be that, unfortunately.
That's what I kind of thought the answer would be. What would be your answer, Lauren?
I would say Stardew Valley, but the game with the most replayability for me is since I was a kid, I would play Dine or Dash, not Dine and Dash, because one day I told someone that was my favorite game and they thought I said Dine and Dash in real life. It's called Diner Dash by Play First Games, and it's a timed game where you wait tables, and you can play over and over, you can do endless levels. That's my favorite game.
It's funny you never waited tables for a living. At least for a job.
Well, I almost did.
Well,
I was a host.
You were a front host, but you never really did. That's one thing I gotta say too. I've never been a waiter. I kind of wish I was, because it seems like that would be a really good skill to know how to, organize your thoughts, juggle several things at once, and then make sure everyone's happy. It'd be a tough job.
Let's just say restaurant politics are intense. They'll tell you you'll become a waiter, they'll hold it over your head, and they just really want you to stay on the host stand.
FazeLink has another question here. If you could each start your own podcast. Oh, I didn't answer that question. That isn't Destiny. What game could I play the rest of my life? I would say that's an easy one. I would throw on my virtual headset and I would play
Beat Saber?
Yeah, I was thinking of another game, but I think Beat Saber is definitely replayable. It's like Rock Band, but with sticks. And you can probably tell everyone here, I played hours and hours and hours of Rock Band on guitar on expert level and loved it, every minute of it. It was such a challenge. And it also hit that musical, since I have a musical background, it hit that musical itch for me too. Felt like I was being creative,
Yeah, you should play guitar again.
I would say Beat Saber would be my answer on that one, Vero. Thanks for your question. FazeLink has another question for us. If you could each start your own podcast, what would it be about?
If it wasn't about Destiny, what would you do?
Well, I'll ask Taka first.
The podcast that I would make already exists. It's about weird food opinions.
Really? I'm interested.
Yeah.
Weird food opinions. Give me an example.
Yeah, well, it's primarily a hot dog being a sandwich is okay. The weird food opinion.
Okay.
And there is a podcast that exists that's
okay.
What it's called. A hot dog is a sandwich. That is my favorite podcast.
Nice.
And that's what I would have made because I've had that discussion many a times before that podcast even existed. I have I think that's what I would have done.
Wouldn't that podcast run out of ideas? I mean,
No,
if that's
because
the
you
topic?
could, you could have different opinions each time,
Okay.
and it's also, I don't know. They've had like 180 episodes, so I
Wow.
think,
So apparently
they're doing fine.
thought this through. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out. What about you, Lauren? What podcast would you make?
I wouldn't keep it on one thing. I would make it more of like a lifestyle podcast. So maybe we talk about books or art or gardening or YouTube drama. That's what I would do it about.
That'd be a good podcast. Nice variety podcast, like a lifestyle podcast. Yeah. If I wasn't doing a Destiny podcast, I've thought about this a bit because I love podcasting. I love the art form. I don't know how popular this would be, but let's just say a lot of my community are young moms and dads. And when people become moms and dads, it seems like life is all turned upside down. It's a new phase of your life. And I just maybe life advice, to younger people. I think that would be, I want to integrate that in my podcast when I'm talking on this show, but it's not topical. It's a Destiny podcast, but I try to weave it in where I can. But I think that would be a cool thing. People could call in, or people could send a voicemail or something with a question about anything going on in their lives, especially the younger folks, younger people out there. Because the one thing that when I was your age, I stressed about everything. I mean, everything. I mean, it was to the point that it was affecting my health. And I don't know when it was, but there was a switch that flipped where I just went with the flow and realized that usually things work out. Even as much as you try to control the situation, life kind of has a way of working out. It's hard to explain, but as stressed as some of the folks I talk to every day in the Discord, stressed that they're working weird hours and working crazy hours and just killing themselves in their jobs. And we've even had people that have vented in our Discord that, why go on? This is not the life I want. Why am I working so hard? And I just want to grab that person and say, man, you don't realize how much life is ahead of you and how much really cool stuff and cool memories are coming your way that you just can't see right now. And, I think I'd be pretty passionate about that kind of stuff. So.
Well, you should have like a grandpa segment.
No, that doesn't belong in a Destiny podcast. I mean, I think I've already personalized the podcast as much as I can without getting too far off topic. So maybe one day. Destiny's not going to be the game forever. There'll be something else that'll come along and I'll either jump to that or I'll jump to something else. But I love the medium. I love that I can talk to everyone every week and just check in and see how they're doing, What
advice did you give Cam when he has a kid?
I told him not to freak out. I said, listen, when you see that baby and you see it born, and he's going to be in the birthing room, at least he says he is, it really will change your outlook on a lot of things. And the one thing that I thought when Cameron was first born is, and it's exactly what I thought in my head, is now this shit's gotten real. This is the real deal. I mean, someone is actually depending on me to keep them alive. And it's no longer just you and your bride chilling and doing whatever you want. Now you have responsibilities that are added to your life as it is. And I just want to, someone who has a new child out there, as scary as hell as it's going to be, dude, just grab onto it and enjoy the ride. Because before you know it, they're going to be 20-somethings talking on a podcast. So,
wonder who you're talking about.
I don't know. Do not know.
Well, as you said, this baby is Cam's revenge, right?
See, Grandpa, your grandfather, my father, would always come up to me and say, "Payback's a bitch," because we were my brother and I were hellions when we were younger. We did
Yeah.
drywall damage. We fought so much as kids.
You broke a van and a car wash.
We broke we collapsed a ping pong table one time. Just all kinds of things that just put our parents' lives through hell. And my dad would come up to me and say, payback's a bitch. It's coming. It's coming.
Cam never did anything that bad, though.
No, but Cam had his moments where it was tough. It's just tough to be a parent because you feel everything for your kids and you don't want them to suffer. You don't want them to have any pain in life. And you really internalize that pain. Kids don't realize this, but your parents love you more than you'll ever know. It really will. All right. It's getting way off the tracks here now. Let's go to the next question from FaZe Link is what's one book you think everyone should read? What's a book everyone should read in life? It doesn't have to be nonfiction either. Taka, you got one?
I don't really read that often, so I would just read.
Well, what about an
Diary of a
audiobook?
Wimpy Kid.
Did you say Diary of a Wimpy Kid?
What's a good audiobook?
I don't even listen to audiobooks. Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I don't know. It's a popular series.
Okay. That's a good book. All right. I will say my answer is this. I thought I knew everything about finance and rich people and poor people. And there were two books that changed my life. The first one was Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Never forget. I listened to that. I read the book first, the softback copy of it. I read the book, which I never read books. And if it has to be really gripping for me to read a book. And then I listened to the audiobook probably every year just to refresh my memory of how rich people live their lives and how poor people live their lives. And the second book, which ties into that one, which was made several years after that book was out, was called The Millionaire Next Door. That's when you really, it's a book where they actually did a study of all the millionaires in America. So the first thing they did was go to all the rich neighborhoods, right? Because that's where the rich people live. Turns out those were people who made a lot of money, but weren't rich. So that book will change your life, especially if you're just starting out in life and you think money is everything and that everyone has it all figured out except you. That book really set me straight. And this was right before I started my own business. So great books to read. Anyone who just in life needs to read those two books, whether it's audiobooks, which is what I do, or read a book. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And he has several books after that. And I read all of them, but Rich Dad, Poor Dad's the only one you really need to know. And then, The Millionaire Next Door, as far as finance. And one book that still is a good book to read for life, even today, even though it's a very antiquated book, and that is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. If you really want to be big into business and companies, that's a very good book too. There's a lot of books, a lot of business and self-help books that I read before I started my business, and that was 30 years ago. So, yeah.
Well, your business is doing good, so it must have given you some insight.
Yeah. I mean, you learn what works, you learn what doesn't work. And books, as overrated as some of them are out there, you get a little nugget from each book that you read, and you hang on to that nugget as wisdom. And you prove it through life that it's actually a good piece of information. There's so much false information out there these days, that people, just look at YouTube. So
I can tell you my favorite book.
What is it?
So, do you know what Eat, Pray, Love is?
Yeah, I heard the movie.
I've never seen the movie or read the book, but the author of that made a book called Big Magic. Mm-hmm. And it was basically, the one thing I took away from it is that ideas come to you, and if you want to say it how she said it, basically you're given an idea and you're making an agreement with it that you're going to work with it and that you're going to bring it to fruition. And if you don't, whatever the time frame is, it's going to go to someone else. So when she wrote Eat, Pray, Love, she said she got like 1 million messages and people coming up to her saying, I was going to write that book. That was my idea. I wanted to do that. The thing is, people get ideas all the time, and if they don't act on them, someone else is going to do it. Or if you just don't act on your ideas in general, you'll never know what could happen with them. And she even talked about how she had this idea for a book. This was just an interesting thing she brought up. She had this idea for a very specific book about like the 1940s gold rush or something like that. And she was going to write it, and she was thinking about it, and for some reason she just kind of lost interest in it. And I think a few days later she saw one of her friends who's also a writer. They didn't talk about that book, they were just talking about life. And she hugged her, she went home, and I think her friend messaged her a few days later, or somehow she got back into contact with her friend, and she said, "Oh, I'm writing a new book." And her friend's like, "Oh, what's it about?" And she said the exact same idea that she had for this gold rush book, like verbatim. And she got that idea right after she saw her friend. So it's just weird how ideas kind of transfer to other people if you don't act on them. And maybe that doesn't necessarily happen with everything, but it's just a good reminder that if you don't act on these ideas, someone else is going to do it, and they may not do it as well as you thought you could have. So if you have an idea, you should definitely act on it.
Yeah, that's good.
I think that also kind of plays into life is short. If you don't enjoy what you're doing and you have an idea for something, you should just go ahead and do it, because first of all, you never know what's going to happen or how long you'll even be here. But also, your idea could be something that maybe you think won't be very successful, but if you just put it out there and try, you never know what could happen. Kind of like with your podcast.
Yeah. I knew nothing about podcasting and just said, heck, let's try it. Let's try it and see what happens. And here we are later, almost 5 years. So
yep,
I'm the last man standing. Hey, thanks for sharing your life with me tonight, guys. I know it got a little personal, but Taka, Lauren, thanks for sharing your life with us. All right. That means it's time for the speed run. We'll see how you guys can do on that one. And I'm including some Destiny questions in yours, Lauren.
Okay.
We'll see how you do. All right, we'll do that right after this.
Call the Praxic Order, call the Thanatonauts, the Jinsen Scribes, call everyone so they can witness you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this segment is called the speed run. This is where we have a database of over 800 possible questions for our guest, and Lauren and Taka will both have 2 minutes to answer as many as they can. These are short 1 or 2 word answers, and at the end of the year, the guest with the most answer will win a prize and title of 2024 Speedrun Champion. The questions are custom curated by me, so no one can memorize the order, and just quickly answer what comes to mind. Tonight, I'm going to read out the questions from my list, and my digital assistant here will help me with the timer. Sith Daddy Fresh is our current leader with 49 questions answered. So we'll start with you, Taka. What do you think? You ready?
As ready as I'll ever be.
All right. Here we go. Counting down. 3, 2, 1. Warlock, Titan, or Hunter?
Warlock.
Cold pizza, yes or no?
No.
Void, Solar, Arc, Stasis, or Strand?
Strand.
If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Japan.
Morning person or night owl?
Morning.
Controller or mouse and keyboard?
Mouse and keyboard.
Hand cannon or auto rifle?
Hand cannon.
Strikes, Crucible, or Gambit?
Gambit.
Are you an AMC Stubbs member?
Nope.
Do you like pickles?
Nope.
If you could choose, who would voice your ghost?
Lauren.
McDonald's or Burger King?
McDonald's.
Human, Awoken, or Exo?
Exo.
Water balloon fight or food fight?
Balloon fight.
Is Scumdeath your uncle?
No.
What's your favorite Destiny planet?
Earth.
Snuggle or Cuddle?
Cuddle.
Zavala, Cade, or Drifter?
Drifter.
Have you ever been to the lighthouse?
Yeah.
What's the best sandwich?
Hot dogs.
What armor slot do you use as an exotic? Armor slot.
Class.
Okay.
Item.
Pineapple on pizza?
Sure.
Ikor, Cade, or Zavala?
Cade.
Red Vines or Twizzlers?
Neither.
What number am I thinking of?
5.
It's 17. Holidays, yes or no?
Yes.
What's your favorite word?
Pizza.
Destiny 2 seasonal events, yes or no?
No.
What's one thing you own that needs to be thrown out?
Everything.
What's the worst job you've ever had?
Can't be named.
Cake or pie?
NDA.
Cake or pie?
Cake.
Do you have a tattoo?
Yes.
Fries or onion rings?
Fries.
Favorite drink?
Rum and Coke.
Oatmeal on bagels?
No.
Solo or fire team?
Fire team.
Gas, electric, or diesel?
Electric.
I'll give you a few more here. Can you drive a stick shift?
Nope.
Xbox, PC, or PlayStation?
PC.
Do aliens exist?
Yes.
Okay. Not bad. After my stumbling and bumbling, I'll give you 40 on that one. Nice job.
I can tell you put your own twist on these questions, because who the hell puts oatmeal on bagels?
That's, if you listen to the show, you'll know that that's something I do. And most people agree with you.
She doesn't listen to the show.
Most of you will.
Wait, why'd you say that super fast?
Most of the listeners will agree that they don't want oatmeal on bagels. That's the inside joke. No one wants that. All right, you ready, Lauren? You ready to do it?
Hold on 1 second. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Warlock, Titan, or Hunter?
Titan.
Hand towels or air dryer?
Air dry.
Void, solar arc, stasis, or strand?
Void solar. Void solar starts.
If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Antarctica.
Pizza squares or triangles?
Triangle.
Controller or mouse and keyboard?
Keyboard.
Sidearm, shotgun, or SMG?
Sidearm.
Strikes, Crucible, or Gambit?
Crucible.
Are you an AMC Stubbs member?
Hell no.
Quest or RNG?
RNG.
If you could choose, who would voice your ghost?
Dolan Dark.
Dolan Dark? Okay. Twab or Twid?
Wib.
Human, Awoken, or Exo?
Erexo.
Elder Scrolls or Fallout?
Elder Scrolls.
Is Scumdeath your uncle?
Obviously.
What's your favorite Destiny planet?
Earth.
Cheater. Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Vex, Fallen, or Taken?
Vex.
What is your favorite armor or weapon mod? You'll never get that.
The T-25 Glimmer.
I'll move on. What's the best sandwich?
Grilled cheese.
What armor slot do you use as an exotic? You'll never get that either. Kill
29.
Clip, Rampage, or Head Secret? You won't get that one.
Rampage.
Ikora, Kate, or Zavala?
Zavala.
TV or monitor?
Monitor.
What number am I thinking of?
17.
Oh, damn, you got it. Do you dip your toast in grits?
Hell no.
Describe yourself in one word.
Hot.
Destiny 2 seasonal events, yes or no?
Hell no.
What's one thing you own that needs to be thrown out?
Everything.
What's the worst job you've ever had?
Bonefish Grill.
Well, now you just gave it away. Can't say that.
You said you were going to cut it out.
Okay. What's better, the book or movie?
Book.
Do you have a tattoo? You better not.
Nope.
Electric or acoustic?
Electric.
Favorite drink?
Rotten. Shirley's Apple.
Apple or Android?
Apple.
Solo or fire team?
Solo.
Gas, electric, or diesel?
Gas.
Can you drive a stick shift?
Hell no.
Xbox, PC, or PlayStation?
PC.
Do aliens exist?
Yes.
All right. I gave you plenty of extras there. That you both tied. 40 each.
I think I did more than Alessandro.
Oh, that's 40. I got the list right here with numbers on them.
Whatever.
All right. Well, thanks for playing, guys. It's just for fun. It's just
You're
a
welcome.
fun little thing we do on the show. Hey, I've got a question for all you out there. Do you have a great speedrun question? If that's a yes, join our Discord and enter them in our speedrun question ideas channel, and we'll add them to next year's speedrun. Just remember, they need to be yes or no, 1 or 2 word answers. Either or questions will also be accepted. And don't forget, the one long form I like is what's your favorite? At the end of the year, we're going to have 2 drawings for a $25 gift card of your choice. And you can enter up to 5 questions to go into the drawing. We see some of you have entered a lot more than 5, but just remember, I'll keep all of your ideas, but you're only going to get credit for 5. So let's hear them, and good luck. Hey, also, if you're enjoying what you've heard so far in our show today, and you know someone who plays Destiny, could you do us a favor? Could you share the show with them? All the links to our show are in our descriptions right down there, pointing downward in our show description below. All right. So that means it's time for a TLDR version of This Week in Destiny.
Howdy folks, this is MC Squared and you're listening to Guardian Downcast.
For This Week in Destiny for May 23rd, 2024, that is this week, they have a new Vidoc, a 2-part Vidoc. I've watched both of them, and I like Vidocs. They're about 10 minutes each, so a total of 20 minutes. If you can go to the YouTube channel Destiny 2 and see all of the Vidocs, the 2 Vidocs that they released this week. Remember, there is a last mission for Season of the Wish. You need to jump in and play that. There's a great cutscene at the end. I won't spoil anything, but there is some callbacks to Destiny 1. I'll leave it at that. They're going to be dropping a lot more Brave weapons when playing Onslaught. You're going to be getting a lot more XP next week to get your Super Black Shader, to reset your Into the Light rank with Shaxx. And it'd be a good time to turn in all of your Brave tokens to try to get that special roll on the Brave weapons if you have it. Remember, you need to focus it first before you start turning in your Brave tokens, so keep that in mind. They have something called Twitch Rivals on the world's first race on June 7th, 3 days after the final shape drops. For 48 hours, they're going to have contest mode on, and there's 2 emblems you can get just by watching 2 hours of any Destiny 2 streamer on the day 1 raid race. So check out those as well. The main thing that I wanted to talk about this week was the new Pathfinder system. They say the World Systems team has a very important update to share once we have teased it in the past. Let's talk about Pathfinder. What is Pathfinder? Pathfinder is a brand new pursuit system we're introducing in Destiny 2 that consolidates bounties, patrols, and weekly vendor challenges into one streamlined system you can access anytime, anywhere via the Director. Different Pathfinders can be accessed from relevant screens of the Director by selecting the Pathfinder node or using a hotkey for quick and easy access if you're on PC. When you open a Pathfinder, you will be presented with 20 objectives divided into 5 tiers, leading to every Guardian favorite's thing, big, shiny loot. To reach said loot, you must complete objectives and claim them to form a path from the leftmost tier to the right. While you can progress through all the objectives on a Pathfinder without restriction, you will need to claim at least 1 objective in each tier before you can claim an objective in the following tier. Every time you claim an objective, you will receive rewards, progressing your path forwards towards the final reward and opening new potential paths. Building a path to the final reward allows you to claim it, and claiming the final reward opens a new opportunity, resetting your Pathfinder so you can do it all over again for more rewards. Resetting your Pathfinder costs Glimmer, but it will give you a new set of objectives to complete and a new final reward to pursue. These new cards are being built using a mixture of authorial control and procedural generation, so once you start resetting, your cards will diverge from those of other Guardians. As long as you still have the Glimmer to do so, you can continue to reset Pathfinder cards after claiming final rewards as many times as you'd like each week. No weekly lockouts anymore. But the value of the final reward will diminish with resets of your card to a point. However, with every weekly reset, the value of the final rewards will also be reset. Your objective progress will be lost, and every Guardian will start the week with the same fresh card. So, think of this as like a gigantic weekly bounty that has all kinds of random, it seems, objectives. And all you have to do is connect the left side to the right. I like this. This is pretty cool. this is really interesting. This makes it so much simpler. You don't have to go to the NPCs to collect bounties. You don't have to keep going to DIM or actually to your mobile app to keep adding bounties when you're playing Crucible. It's all right there in this system. The tier starts with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different nodes at the very first level. And it cuts down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 4, and then 3, and then 2. And then finally, you get your last reward. Just trying to explain it. On an audio podcast, I'm trying to explain what it looks like here. So it's kind of like a skill tree. You're trying to, if you want to connect one thing to another, you have to complete the objectives in between. So yeah. So you're saying, where do I find this Pathfinder? The final shape will launch with 2 Pathfinders, one available to all Guardians that replaces the bounty systems and weekly challenges for our core ritual activities, and one that you will unlock in the Pale Heart as part of the expansion's campaign. Oh, I'm getting excited. The Rituals Pathfinder provides you with a set of objectives that span all of our ritual activities, whether it's a Vanguard Strike, Nightfall, Onslaught, Gambit, and Crucible. Some of these objectives can be completed in any of these activities, while others will require you to dive into specific ritual or mode. An update later in the year of the final shape will make it even easier to get these ritual screens while you are in their activities, as well as make it easier to access the Rituals Pathfinder. While we don't want to reveal too much about the new destination, you can expect the kinds of objectives on the Pale Heart Pathfinder to roughly align with what you'd expect to see from destination bounties. This would be the planetary bounties, with addition of some new location-based objectives called field assignments. When field assignments are created on your Pathfinder, you can expect to see them marked directly on the destination map, where you can track them to take advantage of our waypoint system to help navigate to their location. Why Pathfinder? They said when they set out to build Pathfinder, we had 4 core goals. The first was consolidation. Destiny 2 is an enormous game that has evolved constantly over the last decade. Many pursuit systems have been added to the game over time, and these systems are accessed in a myriad of different ways that make it difficult for Guardians, experienced or not, to understand what they are doing at any given point in time. We set out to build one system that has the capability of aligning all of these into one cohesive UI you can always access wherever you are. Our second goal was to give players more agency. Bounty systems in Destiny 2 typically let Guardians pick from a handful of fixed bounties that reset each day. It's so annoying. You get one day, that's it. And provide repeatable bounties to those who wish to further engage with the system. These limited choices result in a system that feels prescriptive about how you should play the game. Yes, I agree. Instead of putting you in control, we want Guardians to feel ownership over their engagement with these systems, with the ability to chart a course that matches the goals of their play session. Okay. So with that in mind, our third goal was making decisions matter a little bit more. Our existing pursuit systems consist largely of disconnected individual objectives that have no effect on each other. In many cases, a Guardian's decision regarding these objectives are limited to doing or not doing complete objectives that may otherwise be out of their comfort zone to achieve more direct path to their final reward. It also allows Guardians to forge a more elongated path around objectives that don't call out to them, as their options diminish closer to the final reward. Guardians will be entitled to engage with a particular activity, mode, or play style to acquire more rewards. And finally, our fourth goal was to reduce barriers because, let's face it, much of our time as Guardians is spent zipping between destinations to prepare to play the game. Flying to the tower, flying to the helm, flying to Europa. It all takes time that we could be spending fending off the Witness and thwarting its universe-threatening plan to enact the final shape. With Pathfinder, you already have your objectives, and they're always progressing as you play, whether they are locked or unlocked. There's no need to visit a vendor or use the Destiny app to grab bounties. No need to balance your inventory of quests and bounties, and no need to travel to vendors to claim your reward for a weekly challenge. They give an example of some of the rewards here, and I just want to briefly go through this. The rewards are designed to encourage completing many paths over many objectives in each Pathfinder. If you want to maximize your weekly rewards, your best bet is to plan your optimal path. I like this. This is interesting. The objective reward, 25 vendor reputation, 4,000 XP. A path completion reward, the first path. A redacted exotic, powerful tier 3 Ingram, the Pale Heart gear. 1 rank of vendor reputation, 25,000 XP. The second path, another redacted exotic, the Pale Heart Ingram Focusable, 375 vendor reputation, and 25,000 XP. The third path on the Pathfinder that you complete, the Pale Heart Ingram, which is Focusable, 375 vendor reputation, 25,000 XP. And path completion rewards 1 through 3, which are repeatable, will leave World Legendary Ingrams, 150 vendor reputation, and 4,000 XP. And the different objectives, they give you some examples here. So I know this is a lot of information. I know it sounds like a lot of information. It's kind of hard to follow, in fact. But they have different categories, 3 different categories here. The first one is called Calibrations. It directly replaces bounties. Most common objective category on the Pale Heart Pathfinder. They give you an example of some of these objectives. In the Pale Heart, defeat combatants of a certain faction. In the Pale Heart, defeat combatants using weapons that match your subclass damage type. Simple enough. Then they have field assignments. Players must go to locations in the Pale Heart and complete a custom encounter that only appears while the objective is active. This is the second most common objective category on the Pale Heart Pathfinder. They give 2 examples here. In the Pale Heart, travel to Redacted and claim a reward for defeating Redacted. The other example is, in the Pale Heart, travel to Redacted and complete the Redacted event. And the third category in the Pathfinder are called Ventures. These are destination-focused activities and objectives, only 2 per the Pale Heart Pathfinder, only appear in the tier before the final reward. So an example they give here is, in the Pale Heart, progress through the redacted activity and loot the chest. Completing the redacted objective grants additional progress. So that's an example of the Pale Heart Pathfinder. They talk about the Rituals Pathfinder. Remember, there's only 2 Pathfinders when we start. The ritual activities like Crucible, Gambit, Vanguard, vendor bounties will be replaced by the Unified Rituals Pathfinder. A single instance of Pathfinder will contain objectives specific to each ritual activity, as well as generic objectives that can be completed in any of the 3 activities. Additionally, on weeks where there is an active reputation booster, the first 3 instances of Pathfinder will contain more objectives associated with that ritual activity. So if the Crucible Reputation Booster is active, Pathfinder will contain more Crucible-specific objectives until the 3rd reset. Completing an objective node awards experience, like individual bounty completion. Completing a path is designed to be akin to completing a weekly vendor bounty challenge. In other words, completion rewards that include a Prime Ingram, Bright Dust, and Experience. That's when you complete 7 at the vendors right now for the weekly. However, where vendor challenges are limited to 3 per week per character, Pathfinder progress is shared across all characters. Thank the Lord. And is infinitely repeatable. Due to these differences, the reward amounts have been redistributed accordingly. Now remember, we're talking about the Ritual Pathfinder here, not the Pale Heart. The first 3 completions, you get a Prime Ingram, Enhancement Prism, 150 Bright Dust, 25,000 XP. The next 7 completions, you'll get an Enhancement Prism, 150 Bright Dust, and 4,000 XP. And then subsequent completions after that, Enhancement Core, 30 Bright Dust, and 4,000 XP. We hope that you now have a better understanding of what Pathfinder is and how it will change how you play ritual activities and explore the new destination. We can't wait for you to experience it in just a few days. As always, feel free to give us feedback when you've tried it. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of this Pathfinder system? Now that I've explained it, there's 2 Pathfinders. There's one for the Pale Heart, and then there's one for all your ritual stuff that you usually do. usually get 7 bounties done in each of the Crucible, Gambit, and Vanguard strikes. And you complete 7, you get some XP, and you get some Bright Dust. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of this new system they have in place? I kind of like this. I love doing bounties, and let's face it, whether it's a seasonal, objective, seasonal, whatever, it's still a bounty. It's still an objective you have to complete, and you get a reward for completing it. Same thing. But what do you guys think? Give me some feedback in the show feedback channel in our Discord, and let me know what you think about this Pathfinder system. Is there something they're missing here? Is there a shortcoming? Is there something that you see that might be problematic in the future? Let me know. I want to hear it. I really do. Because they're changing the way bounties are done, they're also updating the quest tab. It says we've already shed some light on the UI and UX changes coming with Final Shape, particularly how the on-screen information channels have been updated to show buffs, debuffs, and weapon perks in a more organized way. They've mentioned it in the previous TWABs. Let's talk about some other quality of life updates we have introduced in the quest tab. Starting on June 4th, players will be able to set any quest category on the left column as the default when you enter the quest tab. At the same time, all milestones will now show up on the quest tab, although they will not count against the total amount of quests and bounties that a player can hold in inventory, and will still be able to hold up to the 63 in total. For players who want to keep everything more organized, we also have an updated quest tab so that tracking quests in individual categories will now bring them to the front of the sort order in the quest tab. And last but not least, if you hover over the quest in the quest tab, it will let you know when you can launch it directly from the details screen. So now it's more straightforward from checking it to playing it. These changes to the quest tab are not only the only quality of life changes. We've also made some changes to their menus. We have also integrated reputation boost into ritual activity nodes at the top of the director screen. So when those are active throughout the episode, players will get that information at a glance. Okay. I like this. Check out Bungie.net if you want to see more of a picture of what they're talking about here. Use your legendary shards. By the time you hear this, you're going to have 1 week. Yeah, you'll have 1 week to get rid of all of those legendary shards. Won't be difficult on my newer characters because they don't have many to begin with, but I've got thousands with my main character, and what I would suggest probably is maybe buying some weapons, because every time you dismantle a weapon, you get a chance to get an enhancement core. And for me, that is the sticking point for me, are enhancement cores. That's where I'm getting stuck. Yes, if you don't craft many weapons and you don't upgrade your armor, then you probably have hundreds or thousands of them. Yes, I see you out there, Hammer Crasher. So yeah, make sure you get through those legendary shards, get rid of them, because they're going to be useless in about a week. Normally I don't cover stuff in the player support report, but there's been a really bad problem going on right now with the pony error codes. They're investigating an issue where players can receive invites that result in a pony error code. The problem with this is if people spam you these invites or clan requests or whatever, apparently it's kicking people from high-level activities. So what I would suggest doing is turning off your friend and clan request in your settings tab under your social area and setting Fireteam invites to friends only, or whatever you prefer. Like I said, they're working hard on it to get this resolved. I'm sure they're going to want to make sure this problem is fixed before Final Shape drops. I'm sure it's probably a priority at this point. Got some nice art. Got a nice video on the Pantheon. And that's it. Thank you, Destiny 2 community team, for another great TWAB this week. I see you, Cosmo. I see you there. I see your kitty pic. Oh, puppy pic. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Okay. And that is a TLDR version this week in Destinies, or TWABs as I like to call them. You know what? Let's get to some Discord community questions. I think Taka and Lauren are out there waiting, so let's get to them right now. Let's get into it. Hey Guardians, would you like to send a question for the show to us? There are 4 ways to do it. First, you can join our Discord server at discord.gg/GuardianDownCast. There's also a join link in our show notes down below. We have Guardians from all walks of life and all over the world, from new lights to day one players to hardcore gamers. There's also a channel labeled Podcast Questions where you can type in your question for the show. So come hang out with us. You can also email us with your question at guardiandowncast@gmail.com, or we also occasionally post about our upcoming show and guest, and you can respond there with your question at Guardian_D_cast is our X handle. Finally, you can send us a voicemail with your question at guardiandowncast.com, and we might play it on the podcast. Think of it as talking with us right on the show. Thanks for listening, and later, Guardian. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of our show where we get our questions from you guys. And tonight's questions are Destiny questions. These are Destiny questions that you guys have left in the Discord. It's discord.gg/GuardianDownCast if you want to join our Discord, and then look for podcast questions, and you can enter your questions in here and we might answer them on the show. I want to start out with the original Jimmy. He says, which ones of the new enemies from the Dread enemy faction do you think will be the worst to fight? Considering the 30 level modifier in Onslaught and oncoming -20 in the Pantheon, and the Wiggly Tormentors not getting hit by anything, do you think with master level modifiers they will get even worse? What do you think, Taka? What's going to be your worst Dread character?
Well, they're not coming to Pantheon because Pantheon's going away.
Right.
But I'm assuming he's talking about contest.
I assume he's talking about Final Shape here.
Yeah, probably. I would probably say the Husks.
Yeah.
Probably.
Those are the flyers?
You have to manage 2. Well, no, those are the ones that have, something in them,
Oh, that's right. That's right. The worm.
So, yeah. But I would say the ones, the bats with guns, probably because they have, CC capabilities. So yeah. I think those would probably be the hardest ones since they'll suppress you.
Yeah. I don't like anything that flies that I got to try to chase with my gun. That's going to be my answer too. Do you intend to play the raid day one, and will there be a stream? Just to answer that question on my behalf, I don't know if I'm going to do raid 1. I think I'm going to watch someone. Plenty of Destiny streamers out there. I don't think I'm going to do it this time around. I just don't, I don't get the joy out of day one as I used to. And, I think I'm going to sit it out this time. I'm really going to take my time in Final Shape. I really am. So what do you think, Taka? Are you going to play day one?
Probably.
Okay.
Maybe not day one, but definitely in the contest day one kind of thing. So I guess that is counting as day one.
Right?
So,
first 48 hours.
Within the 48 hours, my party will not be online on day one.
Right.
But they will be the day after.
Did you play the Pantheon? And if not, do you intend to do so? And if you intend to do you think you will record it for us to see? Grandpa clearing Panth or stuff like that. We can truly call you Grandpa now that your son has a child. Thanks for the insight into your lives, by the way. You're welcome. Thanks, Original Jimmy. This gentleman is from Germany, I believe, who's left these questions. So
Olsenscheisse.
Okay.
That's a bad word.
Well,
Kimmy's German.
Yeah, we don't need to cuss on the show. I do all that.
That's rich coming from you. Coming from you.
I do enough for all of us. Okay. I have played Pantheon. I did play week 1, and I got my touch of malice, and I kind of was done with it. I realized really quickly, and I had a lot of help around me. It wasn't a hard carry, but I definitely had some people helping me out. I knew what I was doing, and I think I did pretty good and I did record it, by the way. It's a live stream I did. It's on my Todd the Gator YouTube channel if you want to watch it. I wasn't hard carried, but I definitely needed some people who knew what they were doing around me. And, yeah, I think we had one person who had never done some of the raid encounters. So it was challenging, but they did very well. They did very well. So, as far as further doing any more Pantheon, I don't think I'm going to. It only gets harder, and I really don't have time to get the Godslayer title done. So, unfortunately, Original Jimmy, I'm probably going to be done with Pantheon. I've just got a lot on my plate right now, and it's just not a priority for me. There's a ton of people who are killers in this community that have aced it and done very well in it. Our hardcore raiders especially. So, yeah. Thanks for the question. Next question is from Bazash. 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 What is the funniest Guardian name you've ever seen? You got one, Taka?
Something about Ada's creamy thighs or something like that.
I see those a lot too. There's one dude in the game that I've actually gamed with this guy. His name is Daddy.
There's this one guy that I saw. There's like two. One is like Tortuga Warrior, and one is Mr. Taco Di Mayo. And General Piggies. There's some weird people out there.
Is that Cam's? General Piggies? I think that's Cam.
Nope. No.
No? Oh. Thank you for that question, Bazash. This is from Monty Money, one of our patrons. If you could change one of the current raid encounters, which one would you choose and what would you change? You got an answer for this, Taka? Raid encounter you would choose and what would you change in it?
I don't know. I think most raid encounters are pretty well designed. I would just get rid of anything that involves a lot of walking in between things.
I for the most part, I like the raid encounters. I think they're pretty well thought out. I think raid encounters have gotten been a lot more mechanics versus Destiny 1. Destiny 1 was all about standing in a plate and doing DPS flat-footed. And the game today is a lot more mobile. I would say probably the last fight on the Ron raid. I really don't like how he's the final boss is always jumping around and slamming down. It's just annoying as hell. And then I think I would change it where there wasn't, I don't know if I'm sure you remember this, but, Taka, there's like vegetation or something on some kind of map feature that blocks DPS to doing when he jumps behind it. I really don't like that.
I don't think I've encountered that. So
we'll be standing on an empowerment plate.
Oh, where he walks in between,
and he gets behind either vegetation or some physical parts of the map, and it's just annoying as hell that you can't get around it. You can't get a clear line of sight on him to do DPS. I would say I would definitely change that where if he does do the dives, the slam dives, I don't mind him doing it on the plate. I mean, we have a good way to recover, but just that fact that he walks behind those physical areas all the time, it happened a lot when we played. And it would just mean we'd have to do a whole new DPS run on another phase. It was just annoying. So that's probably what I would say. Okay. Thanks for that question. Let's see. We have one here from MJT2. What is your favorite bounty? You have one, Taka? Favorite bounty?
No, I just pick them up and then hope I get them done. Not one for prioritizing them. I just get them.
Oh man, I know bounties pretty well. I would say my favorite bounty is the easiest bounty because you can get them done quickly. And especially if it's like, let's just say it's like Kill Fallen on Cosmodrome, which is always an easy one. You can obviously get, certain weapon bounties done at the same time by killing those. I like bounties that work together that you can do. You can complete two of them at once, that kind of stuff. That would be my favorite bounty, are the ones that kind of work together. not go use a sidearm, kill enemies with the sidearm in Gambit. That is annoying as hell. And they're changing that, thank God. But yeah, that would be my favorite bounties, things like that. He has a part 2, long term. What do you want to see out of the new Pathfinder system replacing ritual bounties? Well, I had talked about that in the TLDR version of the TWAB. But what do you think? What do you think about this new Pathfinder system, Taka?
I didn't even know it existed, if I'm going to be honest.
It's a new way they're completing bounties. I think it's a great step because it kind of is like a skill tree. You don't have to do it in order, but like most skill trees you have to do in order, but the fact that you don't have to do it in order, and a lot of the objectives, I'll just say, on this new Pathfinder system are very general stuff you can do without even thinking about it. I love that part of it. So, I like that versus the ritual bounties, because let's face it, when's the last time you did a ritual bounty? I mean,
never.
I do them in Crucible. You know why I do them in Crucible? Because I want to get the Bright Dust, and the bounties are pretty easy to complete. Like, get pulse rifle kills. You know, what are you going to get? 10 or 20 pulse rifle kills? That happens really quickly. A couple games is done. Right. If not one game. I'm really looking forward to seeing what, Bungie does with this. And I have a feeling this may replace bounties. All bounties, possibly, down the road. If you remember, Taka, you know, they went with a fragment in Beyond Light. I think it's when you played, right? Beyond Light? When you joined? Yep. Remember that's when they introduced the aspect and fragment system instead of the skill tree type subclasses. I think, you know, and now everything's that way. I think this may be the new system for bounties going forward, and you can reset it. So, and, you know, and farm it and do it again and again. So I like that aspect of it, but time will tell on this one. We'll just have to see how the community engages with it. Thank you, MJT2. Thanks for your question. Pack910 had a question here. What's your favorite raid atmosphere? What's your favorite raid atmosphere, Taka?
I guess I don't know what that means.
Like most, like your environment. Each raid has its own aesthetics. What's your favorite aesthetic of all the raids? You know,
I think I actually just really like the pyramid stuff, if I'm going to be honest.
Like the
Ron and Vow. I like the aesthetic in those raids. So I think it would probably be pyramid ship kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah, it's very, very foreign, definitely. Very foreign and not like what's on Earth. Venus has always been my favorite planet in Destiny 1. And I'm probably a little biased, but Vault of Glass, I love the caves and back caverns and greenery everywhere and, you know, precipitation falling and dripping everywhere. I like that atmosphere. It's very comforting to me because I love hiking and going into the woods and stuff. So whenever I'm, you know, wandering around in those underground caverns in the Vault of Glass, I've always liked that aesthetic. I'd love to see another raid like that too, to be honest. Okay.
I'd like them to just bring back those planets, but because I never got to experience them in general.
I know. I remember Venus. I did so much patrols and just goofing off on Venus. I remember looking up and the acid rain or whatever was falling from the sky at the time. Would just the drops would fall on your face mask or your goggles, your visor. It was just so realistic and so cool. I felt really like I was right there, you know? So, Pack910, thanks for your question. Appreciate that. Good question. We had a question from the original Jimmy. Question for the show. Did you enjoy the return of the blast furnace as much as you thought it would? I mean, I guess I was always saying in past shows, I was really looking forward to the blast furnace. Have you gotten the blast furnace?
Well, I don't think I had it in the first place, so I don't think so.
Did you get it in the Into the Light? Did you do the balance to get it?
I barely played Into the Light outside of Pantheon.
If you like playing Crucible, I would definitely try to pick it up before Final Shape drops. They've got some really, really good rolls on Blast Furnace. I like the new scope they put on it. Original Jimmy, Raynor. I like the scope that they put on the into the light version. I do have 2 Sunset blast furnaces that have better scopes in my opinion, but I'm really loving that rifle. It's a rifle I've definitely spent time farming. I've got some really killer rolls. I've got some head seeker rolls. I've got some, I've really been happy with it. And, Elsie's rifle too. It's the slower firing version. I've really got some good rolls on that as well. But, just a couple, just looking at real quick here. I have a Rampage Zen Moment with steady rounds. I'm liking that. It's been hitting really good. And then I have one with Rampage Head Seeker with Hammer Forge rifling. So I'm liking that roll as well. There's a lot of different rolls you can get with this rifle. And now, I don't know if you've been playing a lot of Onslaught, but they've increased the drop rate of your bright weapons and you're getting double, Brave tokens right now and double, XP. So those trying to get the super black shader, it's getting even easier to do. But next week, this reset tomorrow, by the time you hear this podcast, they're going to ramp it up even more. So this last week might be the time to really farm those weapons. All those Brave tokens you've been saving up might be a good time to focus the weapon you want and turn those in, at Shacks. So, definitely get on that. I think you'll be happy with what's coming from that. Thanks, the original Jimmy. That's good questions here, man. Good questions. All right. Before we go tonight, we have a few speak pipes, a few voicemails that I wanted to share. The first one is from Frostbite. And Lauren, this might be one you can help answer as well, since you do a lot of traveling. Here, we'll let Frostbite talk. Here we go.
Heyo, it's Frostbite. I thought I'd say hi before I leave for my internship in Chandler, Arizona for Intel. Thought I'd stop by and also talk about how that I'm excited for Prismatic. I think that it's going to get me to play Destiny at least for a decent bit, and I'm excited for the final shape, and I hope everyone else is as well. I hope to hear from you, Gator. See if you have any suggestions to keep me sane for traveling there. And I think I might do some hiking and stuff like that, so I'd like to hear if anyone else also has some suggestions for that area, some places that I should check out. I hope the podcast tonight was very enjoyable, and have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, Frostbite. It's good to hear from you, man. I wish you all the luck, brother. I really do. Frostbite has been a day one raid boss patron of this show, which really supports everything that we do in the show, and has been a really good friend as well. Himself and Jealous are good friends, and when we first started this podcast long ago, they were one of our first guests. So I wish you all the best, Frostbite. I really do. Traveling tips, Lauren. You got anything for him since you do a lot of traveling?
Sure. What's up, Frostbite? Some tips for you. I also hope you enjoy Final Shape as well. I'm really looking forward to it. Prismatic as well. As far as travel tips go, I would say it's a great time to go on your phone and go to your Photos app or your messages and just delete stuff. Like, just clean it out, start fresh. Especially if you're going to do an internship, it's always nice to have a fresh start to things. You could also bring a book. You could bring a pillow so you can sleep. If you enjoy certain hobbies, like you could bring an iPad, you could draw. You got a lot of options, so I wish you best on your trip. And good luck with everything.
Taka, want to add anything?
Buy a Steam Deck. Probably great for travel.
That's true. I don't know if you've already gotten to Arizona yet, Frostbite, because he left this a couple weeks ago. I'm a movie guy, and the in-flight movies suck on planes. What I would do is, if you have Netflix, get the Netflix app on your tablet or your phone and pre-download all the movies that you want to watch. It's not going to be that long a flight, but you could probably watch a couple movies. And movies are the ultimate time killers if you're trying to not think about time. So pre-download movies on Netflix or Hulu, whatever app you like to use. And it could be shows or whatever. Pre-download them because the Wi-Fi always sucks on a plane. Never works. It's always on and off all the time. As far as hiking and stuff, I haven't been in Arizona very much. I've been in Southern California. I've been in the little bit north of you in the Rockies, and I do know Arizona has the very beautiful Copper Mountains. And I remember driving through parts of it. There's some really, really cool rivers. Well, Colorado River, I think. And lots of alternate rivers and streams as well. So maybe get into some kayaking. I think you might enjoy that because the rock faces are super red and super gorgeous. I remember driving out of Vegas it's been a while, but I never will forget going through Arizona, those beautiful mountains. So other than that, the hardest thing I would say is being dehydrated all the time. You're going to have that. You're going to feel like there's a blow dryer on your head the whole time. Just hot, dry air just blowing on you all the time. I think I lost 10 pounds of water weight and I gained it within 1 day after coming back from Utah. And that's pretty much very dry weather as well. So, dude, you got to hydrate. Gotta hydrate. Be easy on your kidneys, man. Got to keep hydrating. So that's probably going to be the hardest thing for you to adapt to is that really hot, dry weather down there. It's dry and muggy in Florida, but we're having our hot, dry times right now as well. We're in pretty bad drought situations right now. So that's the best advice I can give you, buddy. I wish you all the best, though. I really do. I think you're going to kill it, man. So get on it. Keep your ears open. Keep your eyes open. Pay attention. And biggest thing I can tell you about an internship is try to be, I'm trying to think of the word here. Try to anticipate what your boss needs. Employees who are always anticipating where they can provide value is always a good thing. So, yeah, have that eagerness to learn and actually learn quickly and anticipate where your value can be in the company.
Be proactive.
There it is. That's the word. Good deal.
That's
Thanks.
from that book you said.
Yep, exactly. Thanks, Frostbite. Wish you all the best, buddy. This is from Thing.
Hi, it's Thing. It's been a while since I've left a voicemail, but here I am right now doing so. Question for the show. Okay, first off, I don't have like all the facts or anything. I haven't really looked into it, but I heard that Bungie had a new trademark or whatever for something in the future, and they called it Payback. And everybody keeps talking about Destiny Final Shape. What if we lose? And so just hearing off the whole Payback thing and people wanting, not everybody, but a lot of people wanting us to actually lose in the Final Shape or fail or whatever you might want to call it, leading up to Destiny 3, and that hence being called Payback or something. I doubt that's what the final result would be called, but what do you guys think? Do you think that's what it's pointing at? Do you think we're going to lose in the Final Shape? Yeah, just wanted to hear your thoughts. Like I said, I don't have all the facts, and that's just purely speculation. All right. Bye.
Thank you, Thing. What do you think, Taka? The speculation around Destiny 3 and the Payback nickname, that's the internal nickname. None of this has really been confirmed, but you have any theories?
Well, one, I don't think Bungie has the balls to make us lose in the Final Shape, if I'm going to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they prove me wrong, but I don't think they will take that kind of risk. And seeing how they've been for the last 2 years, it just doesn't seem like that's in the cards for them. Sure, maybe a Destiny 3 and that might be the Destiny 3 project. But I don't think it's leading to a, like, because I mean, if it was called Payback, right? Let's say, well, not Payback, obviously, but if Payback is Destiny 3 and that's kind of insinuating where we would be going, they have also been saying that this is the end of the Light and Darkness saga. So I don't see how Payback could have anything to do with the Light and Darkness saga again, because I mean, this is the end of that. So I don't think we lose in any way. I hope we do. That'd be cool, but I feel like it's probably a completely different project.
Yeah, I think the Payback leak was an internal project name that Bungie gave itself, being that it was Payback not for anything that happened to them, but maybe Payback that they're actually making the game that they've always wanted to make. Like I said, this is all unconfirmed. This is all just hearsay and leaks from Reddit. And I don't know. It would be really a first, wouldn't it, Taka, that if we did not win against the big baddie?
I mean, technically we didn't win in Lightfall. Technically.
Well, that's true.
But,
well, actually, I was talking to Mythborn and Zeralius last week. They're from the Myths and Z Stories podcast, and they were saying that maybe the Witness has already won and we just aren't accepting it yet. You know, the fact that we were already that they already found the veil. We've already exposed the veil. Savathun hit it on Neptune, and at the end of, spoiler alert, at the end of Lightfall, that the Witness does find it through our ghost. So maybe we've already lost. I've always speculated that maybe the darkness happens anyway. You know, whatever happens. I see the Witness like a regicide story where Oryx takes himself to his throne world. And I don't know how we can possibly beat something that's so powerful. The only way I could see it happening is if when we are in the Pale Heart, where light and dark meet together, that maybe there's a certain power we have, or maybe that puts all of us on a level playing field with the Witness. That's the only way I can see that happening. But I've said it before. What if the Witness wins? What if the Witness escapes, or the darkness happens anyway? The not darkness, but the
final shape.
Well, what if the final shape does happen? What if they do find the final purpose? I don't know. We talked about this at length last week. If you guys haven't listened to episode 252 last week with Myths and Z Stories podcast, we talk all about this stuff. So yeah, who knows? All right, thanks for the question. The original Jimmy has a voicemail here, and I think it's kind of related to all of us here. I think we can all answer this one.
Good morning, or as we say in Germany, Guten Morgen. I'm currently standing in a customer's garden and I'm planning out the electrical installation, and was wondering if you think, as a blue-collar worker, that the American standards in terms of safety measures is far worse than in other countries, like, example, Germany or England. Because every time I see, like, the American setups for the circuit breakers and the RCDs, I wonder why the safety of people is placed lower than the safety of the property. I know that you're not an electrician, but I think that you at least work together with some of these workers and have experienced some of the shortcomings, like example, no mandatory RCDs or plugs that, if you plug them in, that you can actually touch the live wire and stuff like that. And yeah, that's my question. Anyway, have a nice evening or whatever whenever you record this, and bye-bye, or as we say in Germany, auf Wiederhören.
Thank you, original Jimmy. I will say this. We have our resident longtime electrician. That would be Chubby Wizard in our Discord. He's one of our mods, and he can probably answer this question better than anyone. But I will just say this, being that I am in the trades. I own and operate a pest management firm here in Orlando. But my father, is a general contractor, which means I've been exposed to all areas of building anything. And I have a general knowledge of most things. As far as the safety, I'll just say this. The trades work on an apprentice system where, and this applies to my industry as well. You need to be an apprentice for some fixed amount of time, and your employer that you are apprenticing for needs to sign off for you that you are capable. And then you have the opportunity to take a really in-depth exam. I know the one in the pest management industry is about a 50% pass-fail rate. It's very difficult. It's not easy. My uncle, which was my boss when I first was apprenticing under him, I think he took it 4 times before he finally passed it, before he could start his business. I passed all 3 areas, all 3 exams in 3 different areas of the pest management industry on the first try. I like to think that that's because I'm college educated, and not to mention, Mrs. Gator helped me with flashcards, and my God, we prepared so much for these exams, and we took each exam probably 3 months apart. You can only take them when they're available. So the training for at least the pest management industry is very extensive. You would think, you're just a bug man, right? Most people don't realize how much training goes into killing insects or doing pest control in the state of Florida. You have to know a lot of stuff. And I think that applies. My father, like I said, is a general contractor. That is probably one of the hardest exams to get next to being a CPA. It's very pass-fail. And not only that, not only do you have to have the knowledge and engineering knowledge and be good with math and figuring out and, measuring things and using equations and algebra and things to figure out things. Trigonometry. My God, all kinds of stuff. He was always very smart in that area. He was the class president. He's very, very smart. I like to think that rubbed off on me and my children. But he had to know everything about everything. To be a general contractor, that exam is one of the toughest. He's certified in air conditioning, HVAC, general contractor, which means he can build anything. He could build an office building. He can build a skyscraper if he wanted to. He's qualified to do it. I would say as far as the safety element, it's like anything in the trades. You have people who are terrible at their job and you have people who excel at their job. And the problem that most consumers have is finding the company that is very good at their job. I will say this, Taka's brother owns a construction company and he redid our kitchen and did an outstanding job. So anytime that someone is asking if they need a kitchen done or any kind of remodel on their house, anything in the construction industry, I'm always referring them because I had such a good experience with them. So, I'm trying to answer your question as completely as I can to give you a picture of what it's like in America. But Chubby Wizard is our resident, longtime professional electrician. So he's probably the person you want to ask directly in our Discord. Taka, do you have anything you want to add to that, or Lauren?
Well, I'll just say, if you're looking for a good construction company, call it Bison Construction. But in general, I do agree that there are, lots of examples of really poor work done in, the trades and stuff like that. And here in the States, however, I will say that, the States is a large area. So there are more people in these trades. So obviously you're going to see more. I do think that the laws are less stringent in certain areas. And that's why you might not see it as often in places like Germany and stuff like that, because the country is a lot smaller. And with how many examples there are in the States, you will see a lot more negative work over positive work. And people don't really post the good stuff. It's always the negative stuff in general. That's what gets the most interactions. I would just say, I just think in general, no matter where you're at, there's really crap work done in every country. And, it just depends on what you're looking for ultimately. I would agree though that, in general, you see a lot of crap work here, but I think you can find that everywhere.
Yeah.
Just not as common because, United States is a large country and there's a lot of people doing the trades, a lot of people.
Yeah. And I will add to this, in the state of Florida, there's usually, right now at least, there's, excess demand, not enough supply. So that tends to bring out people who are not as qualified that are just trying to fill the gap. And unfortunately, homeowners, consumers learn the hard way when stuff's not done to code, and when stuff's not wired correctly or sets our house on fire. I mean, the sky's the limit. So that is a major problem right now in the state of Florida. There's not enough people in the trades. There's a lot of people in the trades, but not enough really good qualified companies. They're spread so thin, including myself. I mean, I have customers that need service that I have on a waiting list because I just don't have the manpower to handle it all right now. So, that's very common. And whether you're installing a fence or needing to, replace your breaker box on your house, whatever it may be, repipe your house. You have a plumbing leak, you got to repipe your house, you have to redo your plumbing on it. Any of that stuff, there's limited supply of quality work in companies out there. There's a lot of bad ones too. So, but, okay. I think we've answered that question pretty thoroughly. Thank you, Original Jimmy. And I'll leave it there. Thank you everyone for sending your questions in. And, if we didn't get to your question this week, don't worry. We don't discard our questions. If you leave them in our Discord questions, our channels, whether it's Discord, whether it's Destiny only questions or non-Destiny questions, or we don't discard questions that we have not asked on the show. So just keep adding it to the list and, your question may possibly be asked on the show. Hey Guardians, would you like to give back to our community? If you received any value from today's podcast episode and would like to give back, head over to our website, guardiandowncast.com, and select the Patreon button to see what extra perks and benefits you can get from the several tiers of membership available. If you would like to give a one-time donation, click on our PayPal button and follow the prompts. Our community runs on our membership, and we never accept outside sponsors or advertisers. We're Guardian Downcast. Your stories, your community, your destiny. That was a lot of fun. I'm glad they were able to stop by tonight and talk with us. Talk with me, that is. Just a few announcements. We have some community announcements and a couple added things I want to add this week. First of all, we have our live MegaCast episode coming next week. It'll be live in our Discord server. There'll be an event tab at the very top if you decide you want to RSVP. And stop by and look at all our beautiful faces. I think most of us will be on camera. So you can tune into that. We're going to talk about the things we're looking forward to in the final shape, and just mainly just to hang, it's like a pre-final shape party. We're all just going to have a good time and hang out, answer questions from anybody who's in the audience. You can text your questions in and just listen in. So looking forward to that. But we will be drawing for our contest for question of the month. You guys have basically 1 week left. Well, you have until Thursday coming, as this podcast is released. You have till Thursday for the question of the month. And this is from our good buddy, Sith Daddy Fresh, and is what would you want to see or not see in a Destiny 3? We've had quite a few, responses to this. All right. So we're going to have a drawing where we're going to pick one name randomly on our MegaCast episode on Friday, May 31st. So set your calendars. You will get to see and hear, like I said, the various hosts from our Owl Sector Alliance of Destiny podcast. Like I said, we're all getting excited for Final Shape. It'll be the next week coming up after our live show. And if you would like to join us, like I said, check that event tab at the top of our channel in our Discord. So let's hear your answers and good luck. Another member of our Discord messaged me today, and he is also giving away a full Final Shape DLC as well. And I'm just going to read what he has stated here. It's called Zuby Stiltskin. He says, we're close approaching final shape, and I want to give a giveaway through Guardian Downcast for a copy of the final shape. He says, you have no idea how grateful I am for what you were doing. Without Guardian Downcast, I would have never met the amazing Hayoka, and in turn wouldn't have been able to game with other amazing people such as Mr. Monkey. So the competition would be as follows. You have 1 week to do this. You have 1 week to guess my first name. Simple as that. I'm thinking 1 entry per person, and the first person to guess correctly gets themselves a copy of the DLC, courtesy of Zoob. That's XOOB. This is Zuby. So I said, yeah, sure, why not? So I'm going to create a temporary channel in our Discord. It'll be under the pod section in our Discord, and it'll basically just say, what's my name? And you can give your guesses in there. And I'm going to go ahead and guess. I'm going to guess his first name is Trevor. That's going to be my guess. Trevor is Zuby's first name. So I'm obviously disqualified from the giveaway, but yeah, Zuby's giving away a full Final Shape DLC as well. Yeah, first person who guesses his name in the Discord channel, and you get 1 entry. Get 1 guess, folks. 1 guess. That's it. So think carefully. He is from the UK. I'll just mention that. So look for what's my name in our Discord, and the first person who guesses it will get the DLC, according to Zuby. That's what he's messaged me here. So I want to make sure I pass that along. I want to give a member shout out of the week. I don't do this every week, but I wanted to give a shout out of the week to our very active member of our Discord community, and that was Allocate. She helped me run a Vault of Glass raid this last weekend. We had a brand new member of our Discord that jumped in to play a Vault of Glass, which is what our Discord recommended that be his first raid. So I wanted to give a shout out to everyone who helped me out. The brand new member who wanted to try a raid for the first time was Narcolepticon. Nico, aka Jersey, jumped in to help as well. That was his first run. So we had 2 virgin runs in the Vault of Glass. Myself was there, and Allocate was very helpful. Very good at explaining a lot of the encounters. I was streaming it at the time, so I was a little distracted. And Dimwee was also in there and helped out quite a bit. Dimwee's just a killer. He's a crazy good raider. And he's one of our members from Germany as well. And he was very good at explaining a lot of the encounters as well. But a member of the week shout out, I'm giving to Allocate. She has been very active. Every time I'm looking in my Discord, I see her in a group chat, in a voice chat channel, helping members get through raids and really helping people out. So I want to just give her a shout out, member of the week. Just want to mention that if you all are enjoying what you're listening to today, give us a review on whatever podcast app you use out there, and we might actually read them out live on the show. So give us some feedback, and thank you as well. You can go to Guardian Downcast and press leave a review also if you just want to find out what podcast app you use and immediately go to the rate and review section. We'd appreciate it. Have some patron shout outs. Quick shout out to our Dungeon Champion patrons. That's Technical, Raph, Wicked Trinity, and Deadpool 1 Merc. A thank you to our Raid Boss patrons, Jealous, Frostbite, TL Tim. I'm giving them a second week free. Amazing Taco King, Sith Daddy Fresh, and Nico, aka Jersey. All of our patrons are what keep the show running, folks. So thank you to all of them who have spent the time to become a patron member and give back to our community and help us run our community with all the services, our hosting fees, all that good stuff. It all adds up. It really does. Well, that is a wrap. Another episode in our collection. If you haven't listened to it already, we had our Myths and Z Stories podcast on last week. That was episode 252. You can go to guardiandowncast.com and look it up and go right to the episode if you want to listen from there. We talked about everything you need to know about the Witness. And boy, we really did a deep dive on that. So a thank you again to Mythborn and Zorialis for stopping by. Had a lot of fun with that podcast last week. And next week is our live show. It is our mega cast. We do this every major release in Destiny. It's it could be host from the Two Titans and a Hunter podcast, the Guardian Hub, the Space Mafia Discord, and the Dudes Playing Stuff podcast will be there. And yeah, and from Guardian Downcast. So I'll be there. We'll be talking about all things the final shape, getting ready to get excited for the final shape. So stop on by. It's the event tab in our Discord, and you can RSVP there if you want to join us. So check that out as well. You can find me everywhere. Todd the Gator. 2 Ds and GATR. I have a YouTube channel. I'm on Steam and PS5. I'm on Twitter X the same way. I have a second podcast called the Destiny Help Desk, where I talk about a singular thing in the game, Destiny 2. And I have kind of a teaching mindset, and I usually have friends that stop by and help me as well get the point across. So check that out as well. You can find it exactly the same place you're listening to this podcast, or you can go to the Destiny Help Desk podcast.com. All right, before we go, we have another Scumdesk corner for everyone this week. Curious to see what Uncle Scumdeath's been up to lately. So Uncle Scumdeath, what is going on in the UK today, brother?
Hello, welcome to Scumdeath's corner. Do you know what, Gator? I've just noticed max duration 5 minutes. I've just recorded one and it bloody cut off. And then I accidentally deleted it. So, anyway, yeah, right. I would like to say, yeah, sorry I haven't been on for a while. Work's been hectic. We've got the Green Flag Awards coming up for the park. Usually I've got 1 park to look after. Now I've got 8 that I have to get up to spec for judges to come round and look at what the gardening side is like, what the management side is like. Does it have amenities like cafes, and does it have like a friends group who come in and volunteer and do some gardening and stuff like that? So yeah, I'll get stressed out with last 14 years I've won it in Devonport Park, and now I've got 8 other parks to look after, and the same amount of time. You try and keep on top of it anyway. But, yeah, now they've tasked me with, cause in Plymouth City, in the city centre, they cut down 100 trees and the whole city went fucking ballistic about it. It kicked off and the council got fucked over big time. So they hate us. So, what the councillors are doing is, right, Uncle Scumdeath, get us a load of plants and that, and then chuck it in the city centre to try and make it look pretty for the fucking residents, like, you know, and say that we're, you know, try and show that we're, you know, making an effort. It's like, nah, you fucking assholes. But, yeah, so that's what I've got to do. So I have a week and a half to get 8 parks up to spec for a judging, and I've got to spend, well, how long is it going to take to put 500 plants into the city centre and try and make it look good? But they were like, right, we want it as soon as the plants go in, we want them all in flower. Thing is, when plants get delivered from a nursery halfway up the country, they're not in flower. They are going to flower in the next 2 months' time. So they're going to kick off when they see the plants we've got. There's no fucking flowers on it. But, yeah, so I've got to do that. That starts tomorrow. We got the plants in today. So I'll be in the city centre tomorrow, planting all these flowers that aren't actually flowering yet. So that councillor, they don't know what they're on about. You can't, fucking useless idiots. But, yeah, and I'm doing it. I've had a fucking trapped nerve in my back, just above my shoulder blade for last week, and it's agony. My arm's numb. It's pain going up my neck and down my back, and my thumb has been completely numb for a week now. So I've told the boys I can't go band practice on Thursday because I can't use my thumb, and I've got about 50% control in my arm. And my arm just like wanders around, does what it wants with a numb thumb. So there's no way I can play a bloody guitar on Thursday. So I've told the boys I ain't coming to band practice and that. But yeah, but on the upside, I did buy a enhanced screen PSP last week on the internet. 80 quid off eBay, come with the box. come with the original headphones and the headphone control unit, charger, the actual demo disc sealed, all the instructions. It's insane. For $80 with the screen, because I know you can get them for $80 anyway. That's just the console, no enhanced screen, no charger, nothing. I've seen them, but this to get the whole kit and caboodle, it's fantastic. So I went to the local secondhand shop, CEX, Hades, Heyoka, and all them boys. You'll know what I'm on about, and I pretty much bought all their PSP stuff like Resident Evil movies. Look, see, I've got the Goonies movie already. I've had that for years. The Goonies movie on disc for the PSP. See, when you're on a coach, you want to be watching Goonies, don't you? Like, you know. So yeah, I've bought shit. I've got shit tons of games now from my PSP. So I don't even put the PlayStation on. The Switch has been put away. I'll sit there playing Burnout on the old PlayStation Portable. Tell you what, excellent bit of kit. You know. Graphics don't mean anything. It's about the gameplay. That's what I'll say. So, well, I'm coming up to 5 minutes. Max duration is 5 minutes, Gator. So, I'll tell you what, I love you all. I will keep pushing on and I will keep trying to do these, but life is hectic. Just bear with me. Love you all. Goodbye.
And they just released a new album as well. So they have been Uncle Scumdeath has been a busy guy the last few weeks. It's good to hear from you, Uncle Scumdeath, and man, take care of yourself. It just sucks getting old, man. I feel like I'm 30, but yeah, the nerve pain is real, and everything hurts. Everything hurts. It just sucks. So good to hear from you, brother. Well, remember, as you're playing the very final part of Season of the Wish, and make sure you play that last cutscene, by the way, if you haven't already. Yeah, it's a really good cutscene. I think you'll like it. It ties in beautifully to the final shape, puts kind of a bow tie, kind of a knot in the end of the Season of the Wish. So if you haven't played that last mission yet, yeah, get a little Destiny 1 vibes as well. Check it out. Hey, remember, we're Guardian Downcast, your stories, your community, your destiny, and be good to your fellow Guardians in the Destinyverse.
Defeat is not surrender, Guardian.
Thank you all so very much for listening. And later, Guardian.
Hi, this is Taka.
And this is the Gator daughter, SnailEntrails, and you're watching
Nope.
Guardian Downcast.
You're not watching. You're listening. Try it again. Take it from the top. 3, 2.
Hi, this is Taka.
And this is the Gator daughter, SnailEntrails, and you're listening to Guardian Downcast. Subscribe to the Patreon for extra perks and benefits, and check out the Gators YouTube channel.
You want to do
And
another?
remember...
What?
And remember, Glimmer is the newest currency, so you're gonna need a lot of it this season. So make sure to check out Gator's video on how to farm Glimmer.
Jesus.
Coming soon.
see if I can do a Gandalf impression. Fly, you fools! No, that wasn't good. Hold on. Let me do it again. Fly, you fools! No, I can't do it. I can't do Gandalf.